We didn't
Oh.
actually arrange passage for the horses yet. We still have to do that, right? We haven't like paid for the cranes.
No, not like that, but it was like
Okay,
arranging
okay.
passage on Kate's ship.
She wrote that
Okay,
review
cool.
so we could do a recorded video review because we didn't have last week recorded. So it was just a lot.
Also, I don't know if it makes a big difference, but the money I spent was from my time, and it was no big deal as well.
Correct.
The potion shop.
All right. So if nobody has any questions, where we're picking up is you guys are on the way over from This'll Do Nicely from the Pink Swords to the shop you guys now know is called the Marching Tankard Pawn Shop. Is there anything you guys want to do on the way, or are you heading straight there?
I mean, what do we see on the way?
On the way, there's nothing too crazy. It's just the town kind of area. There's some small shops and stalls that are selling fresh fish. You can see areas where they're steaming oysters, some where they're just eating oysters raw, things like that. Nothing particularly interesting catches your eye, just the normal sights and sounds of a coastal city. Doesn't seem like there's a ton of shops around that would be interesting to you guys. So on the way probably wouldn't decide to stop unless you had an interest in grabbing some food or a drink, maybe.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good too.
Did we eat breakfast?
Yes, you did. You had breakfast on the ship.
Is there any specialty of the town that we can tell that they sell, like, you know how like some towns where it's like every single person in a town has their own way of doing, like, I don't know, blueberry muffins or something like that, something stupid. You know what I mean? Is there anything like that I can tell in this town?
Go ahead and make a perception
whatever.
check. See if you can
Specialty
notice.
should not miss. Oh, 17.
Wow, okay. Looking around, you can tell pretty easily the distinction between people that live in this town and people that are visiting this town. The people who live in this town wear their flowing white robes with their armor, or the guards having a small amount of armor over top to stave off the heat. The people that are visiting tend to wear normal clothes for other areas of the realm. So in kind of taking that into account, you take a new look at these stalls that are selling food. And it would seem that there is a much greater proportion of people who live in this town going for raw oysters over steamed.
Okay. Is there anybody nearby that I can see that's selling raw oysters, or just that's all they do is sell oysters?
While as you're walking there, I would say that's easily spottable. There are certainly probably several places selling oysters.
Okay. Anybody want to grab some oysters while we're here? You know, just we're by the ocean, right?
Sure.
Fantastic.
Yes, please.
Let's go grab some.
Do they have any cake?
We can ask.
Oyster cake?
You can ask.
Just regular steak.
Cake. Not
I know I want steak.
I want cake.
All right, I'll find
By
it.
the ocean.
Yeah.
You know, as they say, cake by the ocean.
Okay, great. So you guys walk over to the stall. It's not really so much a stall as it is a almost grill that's been set up on the ground. Not grill because they're not cooking them, but a table that's been set on the ground. It's probably about a foot high. There's a woman sat behind it who is continuously opening oysters, sprinkling them with something, and then putting them in front of the various people who are gathered to grab an oyster or two. Small amounts of money change hands. Again, this is all locals. Whoever's approaching, if you are what's the word? Proficient with perception checks. Go ahead and make one for me.
Okay.
I'm
going up
proficient
with-
in like everything. It's great.
I know you are.
Got a natural 1.
Ouch.
You fall down. I got a 25.
25. Okay.
Alexa got a
Tito,
9.
what'd you get? Alexa
I
got a
rolled
9.
a natural 15. I think it's a +6. So
I rolled a 20.
sorry,
Okay.
I forgot
Well,
to pull up D&D Beyond.
Anyone higher than a 15 will see the amount of money that is changing hands here. It's incredibly cheap. They're handing over an oyster for 1 copper piece.
Oh.
You walk up and the woman kind of looks up at you. You can tell on her face, at least those of you with passive insights above a 5 maybe, that she's a little bit surprised to see people that don't necessarily look like they're from here coming up to her tiny little stall, popular though it may be with the locals. Hello, what can I help you with?
Hey, we're just passing through, and it seems like some raw oysters is something we shouldn't want to miss out on if I don't ever make it back. So how many people do we have here? I don't know. Can I get 2 dozen raw oysters?
2 dozen. Yes, we can
my
get that
friends?
for you. Do you need them opened or do you have a knife of your own?
Oh, I have a knife, but I'd rather you do that. You seem much more proficient.
Okay. Do you have a something I can put them in, a plate or?
Oh, do I? Give me 1 moment.
Sure.
You could put them in your bag, right, Core?
Well, not when they're opened.
I mean, you could put them in a bag of holding, but
Do we just want to eat them?
Yeah, can you just
Yeah,
can we
we
just
can
eat
eat
them
them.
as you shuck them?
You just carry them.
yeah, but there aren't 2 dozen of you, so I just wondered if you were staying to eat. But that's fine. She
Yeah.
begins very swiftly opening up oysters and putting them on the table in front of you. That'll be, let's say, for 2 dozen, 12 copper. Or no, sorry, 12 silver is what she says.
12 silver.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. I'll give her 15.
Is there a charge for being out of town or being from out of town?
I'm not sure what you mean.
The people before us paid like 1 copper.
Oh,
or
these
1.
are my friends. They get family discounts.
That's fair.
Not really, but okay.
I mean, you never
Inside
come
job.
here.
It's only 15 copper.
Insight.
I don't know, I'm
Okay.
just saying, like,
Mm,
be like a better business person.
I
Don't
mean,
be a
we
dick to
never
people.
come here. We're not from here, so I was just.
I mean, I don't mind paying it. I'm just saying it's pretty
I'm
obvious
just
she's
saying, like,
upcharging
a
us.
little discount would be highly appreciated, though.
I'll give her the 15 silver and tell her to keep the change. 'Cause I know she only
How
charges
about I
5 silver.
play a song for you?
So the 5 is
That
Hey,
is
you
fine.
don't want
if you'd
that.
like.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll eat 2 myself.
She sprinkles them with what is now clear to be a dried salt and herb mixture. And some of the herbs you can't say that you've tasted before, but you do recognize a few familiar flavors that you would normally put with seafood in other parts of the realm. It also has a slight citrus tang as you consume it. It's a those of you that have had oysters before, it's a perfectly pleasant experience, just pleasant. They're some of the best oysters and freshest oysters you've ever had. Those of you that haven't, having oysters for the first time is certainly a weird experience, but the flavors therein, especially with this mixture of salt and herbs that she's put on it, it's quite delicious.
Wait, how many of you haven't had oysters before?
I love oysters.
I don't know what it is.
Oysters are oh my god, they just dissolve in my mouth. It's so
Yeah.
great.
They don't exactly like dissolve.
So it's
Well,
just
you just haven't
doing
had the right oysters.
No, they don't dissolve. That's not how they function.
Yeah, that's why I used a simile. It's like dissolving in my mouth. Thank you very much.
Uh-huh.
And I thought it does dissolve. Does it not?
Does it?
No, you
I
swallow
thought
it.
all food dissolves in your mouth
No, I think you're confused.
when you
Must have like
touch it with your spit.
I mean, it dissolves in your stomach, but really with oysters, the trick is to just throw it down the hatch.
Tito, have you ever had an oyster?
So
I don't
spit.
think he has.
So
Me
spit
either.
doesn't do anything to dissolve food. Wow,
Just not
that's
this
crazy.
particular food.
The idea is to not keep it in your mouth for very long.
Why? You don't chew it.
That's how you eat an oyster.
You just swallow it.
Okay, my
Yes.
question now is if Andrew has had an oyster.
I don't think I
Absolutely
have. Apparently, I thought you chew it.
No. No.
What?
Not at all.
You let that bitch go down your throat, homie.
Maybe like a deep fried oyster.
Yeah, where it's like baked into like a crab cake style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like raw, just straight down.
A little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of salt.
You are muted. Okay. Well, you know what, Andrew? Live your life, homie.
Exactly.
So eating a fantastic fresh oyster, would you say that triggers any memories of eating oysters before I went into the tower?
Go ahead and make we'll call it a wisdom saving throw,
Nice.
just because I like making you make those.
Michael was muted. He was asking something.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear him.
Can't hear him if he's asking.
Yeah,
Me neither.
I want to let him ask first before I tell you my.
All right, speaking to my mic.
Real quick, I confused mussels with oysters.
I just said
Okay.
it was more of an in the moment thing. I just said I do absolutely whatever I can do to give him advantage on the check.
Oh.
Oh, right.
Right. I got a 17 total.
17 for the wisdom saving throw.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's particularly jarring in terms of memory, but as the taste of the herbs kind of rests on your tongue and begins to be broken down by your saliva, Tito, you're certain that you've tasted this particular blend of spices before.
Okay, so I walked away. I
Clerebold,
walked through the lady again. Sorry, what were you saying, Mary?
I was gonna say, you look like really contemplative right now. You okay?
This was fantastic. I think I know these herbs, but I just I want to go ask the lady what they are just to make sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sorry, so I'll walk back over to you. Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
What was that blend of herbs in the salt here? I would appreciate knowing.
We just call it the portside mix. It's
The ports-
paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, some thyme, celery seeds, allspice, salt, cumin. All with different proportions, but it's been made in this this town for centuries.
Right, seven blend of 7 herbs and spices or something. Oh, okay.
8.
Cool.
8 of them.
8. Oh, excuse me.
In
I'm
different
sorry, I'm
weights.
bad at math. In different
Hello?
weights, right?
Sorry, my mic's working now. Fuck.
Has it changed throughout the years, or is it like a? Do different vendors have different amounts they use, or is everybody use the same kind of blend?
I mean, certainly people use different amounts for their food, but why mess with perfection? It's been the same for a long time.
Okay, because I'm like a heavy garlic fan, right? So
Sure,
I mean, if I don't know. But, okay, thanks. I appreciate that.
of course.
All right, are we going to that shop?
Yeah, I really want to go there.
You really like all the shops, though. To be fair.
Yeah, but that's because I like cool things.
Let's see what cool things they have there.
Hey, could you make armor with these shells? Does that work? I know you do it with metal, right? But what's the
I
difference?
mean, I could have the shells in some of the armor, but not like out of shells.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, no, I couldn't do that. Maybe if we found a really big shell, like
It has to be
one
one big
huge
shell?
shell. Yeah.
You can't like use your mind and ask Onatar to take like 10 shells and put them together? Is that how it works?
Can you ask your god to do that?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
tomato.
I could ask.
I mean,
More
you
like
ask your god,
later.
and I'll work with what I've got. We'll
I
see which
can-
one happens first. Okay.
I can ask my god to punish me and make me bleed. That's about it.
Wow, that sounds really cool. My god gives me stuff. Your god
The
hurts
shells
you.
outside of the armor do sound pretty fire though.
Your
Not gonna
god
lie.
sounds like my devil. No,
Like
My
shells
devil.
outside of the armor, like a
sounds like
defender of the deep.
it sounds like it is from one of the layers of hell. Your god.
Well, I can ask him to do that, and then he can, take pain and suffering from other people at the same time. It's like
So like if my arm got cut off and you were like, hey god, please help Zaffre, please, your god would cut off your arm and mine would come back.
Fuck that. Not me.
Oh, you would get his arm. You would get his arm then. You'd be a
Well, I
Dragon
mean,
Ball.
that is better than not having an arm.
Right. I'll let you guys have this discussion. I'm gonna go to the shop.
While they're having
They
that
just grow
discussion,
back like
I
appendages.
mean, we're walking to the shops as we're having this conversation. We just said we were
Here's the
walking
recipe
to the
for
shop
portside
after
mix.
we-
Nice.
while we're walking, or while we're walking and they're having this conversation, I just stride up next to Narfer and I say, I'm glad that we worship the wild mother, or the earth mother. Fuck.
The wild.
Hey, it sounds freaky. Wow, mother. God dang.
Oh, I didn't hear you, Mary. What'd you say?
I said, I'm glad we worship the earth mother. Some of these other gods sound really weird.
Yeah, I'm glad she doesn't just, smite us down with her natureness.
Yeah.
Natureness. Yep.
What is
Excellent.
natureness? What are you talking about?
I've never heard of that.
I don't
word.
know. I'm still thinking
Nature.
about severed arms on a Dragonborn.
That'd be crazy, right? At least he's strong, so it would help.
Yeah, to be fair, you'd have one strong arm from me, right? And then you'd
Okay,
have your
both
normal
of my
arm
arms
from
are
you.
strong too. We'll have a arm wrestling contest later.
On the
But-
boat. That's a good idea.
Yep.
Do it over a barrel.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that sounds fun.
Says
Yeah,
Core.
like Skyrim. Not Skyrim. Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
All right. So onward to the marching tankard.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys come up to a building that looks an awful lot like the other buildings. White with a blue shingled roof.
I really like this pattern.
Windows on the outside that reveal not much of the darkened interior of the shop. You enter. As you enter the shop, your eyes take in the cluttered shelves. They all seem to be full of strange items in no particular order, some of which are moving. The shop itself is not dissimilar to many others you have visited throughout your adventures, with one exception. On the walls of the shop, the facade of a castle wall has been built, including arrow slits and a large portcullis on the left-hand side of the shop. At the top of this wall, about 1.5 feet from the ceiling, you can see what appears to be, true to name, a small tankard, marching around the circumference with a tiny crossbow in its hands made of fired clay. The owner of this shop steps out from behind the counter, is a tall, olive-skinned human. Very dark hair, has the same white flowing robes as everyone else in the city. Hair very curled. He has a leather strap bound around his head to kind of hold his hair out of his face. He notices you all as you enter. Welcome to the Marching Tankard. How are you all? So imagine like if you've been to the Fox Theater. It's kind of like that in here. There's a castle wall all the way around the outside, and on the top you can see one marching tankard. Looks to be about 1 foot tall, and he's carrying a tiny crossbow in tiny hands.
So most of the time when I come to shops, I like to look at. I use detect magic so I can see what I want to look at, but I don't think that would really help in here. So
There's quite a bit of magic,
What
but quite
is-
a bit of not magic as well.
What is that?
Ah, that's our mascot, the marching tankard itself.
And who are you again? Did you say? I'm Zaffre.
Sorry, my name is Risan. Risan Sinbella.
Yes, something better.
This place is beautiful.
What do you sell?
Tito, what's your AC?
92.
What?
$16.
16. You feel a sharp dink at the back of your neck. You take no points of damage, but you feel something impacts the back of your neck.
What was that?
You put your hand back there and kind of grab it. There is a tiny crossbow bolt, about half the size of a toothpick, that was just penetrating your skin.
I feel like I would have like slammed my neck.
Okay, well you would have just broken the crossbow bolt. You wouldn't have like shoved it into yourself.
You're dead now.
Ow. What was that?
Oh, sorry. He does like to take pot shots occasionally. It doesn't do any damage or anything, but it can be quite annoying. He took months to get used to me.
Wow,
Wait,
that's funny.
who just shot that?
It's the tankard himself. Zaffre, what you see here a plink off of the front of your armor as one bounces off of you.
Good luck.
He's real?
He is as real as any other tankard. He's just been magically enhanced and given arms and the crossbow, I guess.
I want to live here.
Matt, how big is this shop?
The shop is probably a 30-foot square.
Okay. And does it look like there's one sort of good mostly on the walls, or is it just a collection?
Looking around, it does look like there is an eclectic selection here of different items. There are small display areas where you can see different types of items have been set out. You can see one that appears to be a potions type area, one that has different adventuring gear, one that has different sets of artisanal tools and things like that. There is a small section for musical instruments, for fishing gear, a few small weapons, things like that. And then there's at the front, kind of just in front of the counter, there is a locked display case with, let's see how many items. 8 items locked therein. It's glass fronted with gold all the way around the sides, and these items all look like they've been handled with a degree of care. They're resting on small pillows, kind of putting them in a place of prominence within the shop.
Can I look at those items?
Of course.
Okay.
I'll go over there with her.
Okay, so you guys step forward, and it might help if I pull up some pictures here. One sec. Okay, so the first thing you see is this. If it'll open. Hi. Sorry guys, my computer's freezing for some reason.
That'll be good.
Then give it a sweater.
Whoa.
Ha.
I love that Josh just checks in with the ha.
Okay, there we go. It's gonna be super worth it, guys. This
It's a pile of shit.
It's a rock with a mountain engraved on it.
Is it like
Second
two-dimensional?
It's just, like that thick. Just a flat rock, basically. It looks like it's been broken and then carved. The next thing is I won't pull up pictures because it takes too long. But if you want to see them, I can pull them up. It's a small dragonfly that has been carved out of jade. Just that big, not very large at all. The third item is a small copper feather. Just a feather made of copper, probably about 5 or 6 inches long. This one I will pull up because you guys don't know what this is.
This is my favorite one.
Yeah?
Yep.
Share. It is a necklace that looks like this.
Ooh.
My favorite.
It's a sword with a sun behind it, basically.
See, it is the sword my dad made, and I am the sun.
The next one is a small golden bell. On the lower shelf, there is a very small metal representation of a snake, kind of coiled up. Next is a pure white feather that looks absolutely beautiful. It does not look like it came from a bird. It is the shaft of the feather is a lot thicker, and it is also larger. It's probably about 10 or 11 inches long. And finally, at the bottom right, there is a sailor's cap.
What is the guy's name?
His name was...
Hey,
Rison.
Rison.
Oh, yes.
What are all of these things?
That's
the
our
metal feather too.
revolving stock of magical items. We get them every once in a while. We usually never have the same items for more than a week before they're sold, partially because they are so cheap. We sell them all for 150 gold pieces.
What are they?
They are interesting items that have been brought to me from around the world. Some of
Tell us
them.
about each one.
Okay, I guess I will. Sure. The rock with the mountain on it. That is a symbol of Grumbar. When you hold it, it lets you speak Terran, the language of the earth. The dragonfly next to it is a sort of an insect repellent. If you take it with you and use it, it flies around and kills mosquitoes, flies, things like that are around. The next one is a symbol of the necklace. Elistere is the goddess of this symbol. Perhaps this one is better explained by using. One sec. He opens the display case by taking a key off the chain at his neck and unlocks it, opens it up, and takes the necklace out. Which of you is the best singer?
Tito.
And
Which of Tito?
Which of you is the
Easily.
worst?
Wait, are you saying Zaffre? It's
Yeah,
best singer?
Zaffre was
Oh
raising
wait,
his hand.
I could probably help you with that.
And which of you is the worst?
B-Rad.
Yeah, probably P-Rad.
B-Rad. All right. Would you mind putting this on? He hands it over to you. He kind of looks like he's acting like he's going to put it on you, B-Rad.
Do not break it.
He just ties it. He puts it around your neck and
What do I
clasps it.
do? What is
Just
this?
stand there. It's okay. Sing.
Okay, now go ahead and sing. You can just tell me if you want to try to sing.
What are we singing?
Just sing anything you like.
I look at Tito and I'm like,
You know the 99 bottles of ale on the wall?
I don't know that one.
How about Country Road? How about that
I love that one.
Okay, we can try.
So do you begin singing?
Yes.
Okay. As B-Rad begins singing, the air around you is filled with a beautiful sound. It still sounds like B-Rad, but as if there is emotion and years of training behind his voice. He has
Emotion.
He has a deep, resonant baritone that fills the air and allows it to, I mean, it almost feels magical, to put it in simple terms. The way that his voice sounds, it fills you with longing for anything that you can imagine music would fill you with, for home, for your time, for a loved one lost. It's amazing. As he stops singing, you all kind of catch yourselves in this reverie, and the shopkeeper comes back up and takes the necklace off B-Rad. And I suppose I don't really have to explain what it does after that, yes?
That was amazing, B-Rad.
I've always been able to
Tito's
sing like that.
astonished.
He gently places the necklace back in the display case. Excellent work. You have a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
The next one is a quite interesting item. Came from the south. The snake, when you place it around your arm.
You skipped the metal feather.
Oh, apologies. I missed that one. I skipped two. The small feather here, if you hold it and keep it on your person, if you fall, say, 20 feet, it is as if you did not fall at all. Or you fell, but did not get hurt from it. If you fall 30 feet, it is as if you only fell 10.
Isn't that what you can do, Logan?
Do what?
Like when you fall, you don't get hurt.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I just jump.
Pretty cool.
Well, now if someone gets that, we can do what you do.
Sounds
Yeah.
like we have all of these things already on us.
Except
Good
for
for
the
you.
insect
No,
repellent,
I
that might be nice with the
definitely
swamp.
But if someone wants a different
Because this would allow different people to do it. It's not saying we don't have all of this. What's the next
I
thing?
meant like split the colors.
The next is this small bell. He just rings it, and it has a very clear, resonant, beautiful tone. It makes it very easy to wake people up within around 30 feet from it. It will automatically, if rung, wakes him.
In a 30-foot radius.
Yes. Going back to the snake that I was telling you about, if you wrap the snake around your arm, it sinks into your skin and forms a tattoo of sorts. This tattoo moves when you're in conversation with people, and once a day, you can add 1d4 to a conversational check, so persuasion, deception, that kind of thing. You also have advantage when talking to Yanti.
That's really cool.
The next one is the feather of a solar. Have you heard of a solar?
No, I thought it was a rock.
They are the most powerful of the angels. If you hold it, you will be able to speak their language, that celestial.
That's really cool too.
And then finally, the sailor's cap, very useful in this sort of town. It gives the idea to other people who make their living on the sea that you are among their numbers, that you are like them. You make conversational checks with career sailors, people who make their living on the ocean, a little bit easier with advantage.
Huh. Cool.
Of course, we have many other things. If you are not interested in these, we sell poisons, potions, adventuring gear, spell components, gemstones, jewelry, many things.
Maybe look at the artisan's kits.
Yeah, basically, there's any set of tool kits you want, he's got one.
Okay.
Anything good for defense? It's not like a shield.
Yeah, do you have any more magic items other than the ones up front, like the display case?
I have potions and poisons, some of which are magic. I have a bag of holding, if you want something like that.
I mean, how much is the bag of holding?
This is 500 gold pieces.
Okay.
In terms of potions, I've got some potions of resistance.
What kind of resistance?
That's the thing. They're an interesting type of resistance potion where, let me show you. He goes in to another one of the display cases that's not as tightly locked up and pulls a potion out and hands it to you, Lex. As you look at it, it shifts between colors almost instantaneously. If you look away from it, then look back, there's no way of really telling what color the potion is. It shifts from greens to purples to reds to blues to yellows, and just a constantly undulating change of colors. Basically, the idea is when you drink it, you will gain resistance to something, but you won't be sure what until you do.
Well, as great as this is, I need to know what I'm resistant of.
Can you like time it so when it shows up red on the potion, you like knock it back and then you get fire resistance?
Not
Or
quite.
something like that?
Fire.
I also have, he kind of looks over his shoulder and conspiratorially leans in. I have some sooth salts, if you'd be interested in that.
Sorry, what'd you say?
He says, I have some sooth salts, if you'd be interested in that.
What's that?
They are something you take to have a good time, but they also make you smarter.
I'm good. I already have a good time.
And then outside of that, they do have Z's. He takes out a small bag from behind the counter and puts them down and pulls out one of what appears to be mini. It looks like a small bronzed acorn. Puts it on the table. These are less magic, more technology, but they are filled with a powder that when you activate it by pressing, he points to like a small nodule on the side of the acorn, pressing this and then throwing it, it explodes and detonates when it hits the ground. And it can cause damage to people. It will definitely cause damage if they're within 5 feet.
But does it hurt the person throwing it?
If they're within 5 feet, then yes. You can throw it as far as you want, though. So you would not want to throw it on at your feet.
How much is that?
They are 50 gold pieces each.
I'll walk up to the guy with a gold coin from like Faerun and ask, will you accept this coin or no?
Let me see. Takes it from you and goes out back behind the counter and pulls out a set of scales and also a small jeweler's magnifier and looks at the coin for a bit, sets a counterweight on the other side of the scale and places the coin down, takes some weight off, takes a little bit more weight off until the scale is leveled. I believe I can take these coins. Each one, you would need 3 to make one of our coins.
Can I insight check that?
Sure.
So far, we've been making them 1-to-1, right, Michael, with your thing?
Yeah, through that.
Can I also insight check him?
15 plus
Since it's
8,
about
21.
gold.
If you want to.
Matt, 21.
21. You're not really sure what he's basing it on. Of course, weight is a factor, and then composition, as far as the metal goes, you would be certainly aware of that. They can vary from coin to coin. Thinking about it and sort of thinking it through, what you think he might be thinking, the cost of making that coin into a coin that he can spend in his world might account for some of that cost. That he's saying, you know, this is worth less because I'm going to have to work to make it work for me. So it doesn't seem like he's being dishonest. He might be taking a little bit of a premium, but it wouldn't be much.
That seems a little bit steep, don't you think?
I've never seen these coins before. I have no idea how much work I will have to do to make them spendable in this country.
I mean, like, but 3 times the value of it? I mean, come on.
Do you know of metalworking, young gnome?
Yes.
He does.
I know everything about metalworking.
Excellent.
He'll tell you.
Maybe you should explain it to your small friend.
So, like, Tito, look, you'd have to take all the coins and... Hold on. Are you, by chance, a forge, like a cleric that practices with Onatar?
No, certainly not.
Yeah, so he cannot pray this money into his money like I can. So he has to melt it all down with fire, and then once it's melted down, he has to then cool it, but also mold it into different coins and shit like that. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, but like, don't you think you could do it for like twice the value, not triple?
Well, I don't want to do double either.
Ideally, I would like to trade this money to get it back into a usable currency for me, but as I've never seen it before, I do not know how much work that would take. If I have to hire someone to melt it down, I also have to get access to the mint to get the correct presses to make the gold, which is difficult. Not impossible, but difficult.
How much gold did you need?
I was gonna get the dragonfly, Jamie.
Was it 150?
Totally wanted
you
to get
guys
the dragonfly too.
I'm sending you guys the full inventory now. Give me a sec.
Yeah,
What'd you say,
I was thinking about getting the dragonfly too. That one's really
Yeah,
cool.
because I was like, oh, we're going to a swamp, so I might want that.
Yeah. Well,
Turns.
meta Michael talking. I thought the same thing about the mountain thing. It might be good to have in case we're going to somewhere that could have what's it called? Rock shit. What's it? Elementals.
Michael, do you have like enough money right now to spot me 150, and I can have you make it later, or no?
No, I only have in this gold. Let me see. Other position.
If not, it's cool.
I have 130 of this gold.
Okay.
I have 46. I think you can spend mine as well.
I was also thinking about getting the snake.
Yeah, the snake would be awesome for Hezrian.
Well, how much was that? Like 150?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all 150. Yeah.
But maybe we can talk about the deal if we're buying multiple ones, possibly.
True. I mean, I got money. I stole money off that one dude. So
This is the list.
Oh yeah.
Buy two,
How
get
much
one
did you
free.
get from that,
You'll
bro?
see the magic stuff too.
it was like 250 gold I got from that dude.
Nice. I've got it right here. There is a rock. The rock mountain thing lets you speak the earth language. The jade dragonfly kills all the bugs around you. The Elistre necklace makes you a godly singer. The metal feather allows you the feather fall benefits up to 20 feet. Beyond 20 feet, it just takes 20 feet off of the total damage you're going to take. There's a small bell that wakes everyone in a 30-foot radius of you. The coiled snake that becomes a tattoo and gives advantage during conversation checks, and also gives you advantage on any conversation checks with the snake people. There's the angel feather that lets you speak celestial, and the sailor's cap that gives you advantage when speaking with sailors.
Where is this?
I took notes when he was telling us.
We get these items. We gotta ask for a deal. It's like,
Here you go.
Yeah,
I just
but
sent you
hold on.
guys an image in the Discord. It's got the full shop inventory on it.
Oh, the full inventory.
Yeah.
The Celestial joint sounds
At least
cool.
of things you guys would be interested in. There's probably some other stuff that.
You said it's in the Discord?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Cool. It's on the Discord app?
Yeah, it's in the general channel.
Shit, there's a lot of poison.
Sorry, those aren't all poisons. The poisons go down to essence of ether.
Oh, yeah.
And then
The
explosive
bag of
seed
holding
is not
a poison.
Yeah.
Neither is the potion of hill giant strength.
Yeah, there are 3 poisons.
Fuck, that would be fun for B-Rad. Matt, what is the spyglass?
A telescope.
Is it magic or just?
Nope, they're
like,
just
what's
really
the
fucking hard to
purpose?
make. That's why they're so expensive. They
Oh,
let you
okay.
see things that are far away.
Cool.
Ground glass is really hard in a medieval setting.
Gotcha. Yeah, in a minute when I'm done looking at it.
And you can ask him to explain different things on the list or expound on any of those as well as you're talking to him. Meanwhile, as you guys are walking around the shop, the tankard is still shooting you guys, occasionally hitting and causing minor annoyance.
I want to walk up to him. How much would or do you have tinker tools?
I do have tinker's tools. Are you a tinker?
Yes, I am.
Excellent.
I am
Well,
too.
It's unfortunate you find yourself without your tools, but we do have one set.
Indeed.
They are 50 gold pieces for a tinker's set.
50 gold pieces.
They have the hand tools, thread, needles, whetstone, scraps of cloth and leather, and some glue to get you started as well.
Absolutely. Tito, would you want to buy a tinker's set of tinker's tools with me?
Sure. Is there
We can
enough?
share it.
Like how many uses does it have?
Tool sets have unlimited uses.
That's great. Okay.
Matt, what gemstones and jewelry is there?
He has got a pretty wide selection of diamonds, ranging from those that would cost around 100 gold pieces to a couple that ranged in the 5,000 gold pieces. Emeralds, sapphires, and rubies as well as a few pearls. Actually, quite a lot of pearls, as a matter of fact.
Okay. Is Aluharad is with us, right?
No, they're back at the ship. They stayed.
How much is the stuff at the bottom of the list?
The magic items, they're all
Those are all
150
100
gold pieces.
100?
150.
150.
Which all of you recognize is very cheap for a magic item.
Yep.
Regardless.
Yeah, I'm just a broke ass bitch in this world.
I can get you for 40. That's literally all I have.
Hey,
Nah, it's okay.
one thing, we need to talk to Aluharad about diamonds for the mission because I used both of mine to revive the teachers. So we don't have any diamonds right now to use Revivify.
That'd be a good idea to have.
Yeah, so if he can, we used ours to revive him, so hopefully we can, maybe he has one or two.
Does anybody have a spell where they can contact him quickly, like sending a message?
We can just talk to him and like when we take the horses to the boat, and if he doesn't, maybe he'll have money and I can just run up, not RP and buy diamonds.
Okay.
Atior has money. Okay.
Yeah. Aluharad was broke.
Cool.
This is another case of once I pay off everything else we have to pay off, if I have available money, I might come back.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
If we were to buy one item as a group, which one would benefit us the mostest?
I mean, I think either the dragonfly or
Yeah, 'cause the reason why I wanted the dragonfly
Bell.
because of we're going to a swamp, so that might work well.
The small
Well,
bell would also be really helpful if the person who is taking a watch, if we're going to be sleeping in the wilderness, the person taking a watch can wake everyone up in one action.
I have tiny huts so we can be like protected while we're in the wilderness.
So yeah.
True.
True.
Do you not
Matt,
have your
remind
mansion
me,
yet?
is the snake tattoo? I know you said it's advantage with Yanti, but is it just any like charisma checks he's getting
I
a
think you said
bonus to?
persuasion.
It's any conversational
D4,
check.
right?
You add a D4 to it once per day.
So would like a straight charisma check be considered that? Like if you're just, or not really?
It
Okay,
depends
you
on what
can
these
add a
circumstances
D4
are.
to it.
So like if you're talking to somebody and you're trying to maybe impress them, it could be just a charisma check. Yeah, you could add that, but it has to be conversational.
Because that could be, I mean, depending on, you know, how intelligent this dragon that we're going to talk to, if Hezrian were to have that, that could be, you know, at least maybe he wouldn't kill us right away.
I don't know if there's going to be any reasoning with the dragon because the dragon seems to serve the master.
That's true.
Killed the master.
Well, I think the dragonfly could be useful depending, you know, situationally, especially if the mosquitoes are, if we're facing mosquitoes that are like dealing poison or whatnot.
Yeah, Matt, what is like the parameters of like using the mosquito? Like how long does it last? How many times you can use it a day and stuff?
Doesn't say. You could ask
Yeah, I
for
was gonna
more
ask
clarification from him, but
what's the name again? Rison? No.
his name
Risan.
is Risan.
Risan, like the dragonfly, how big of bugs can it kill?
You know, normal sized bugs, just about up to its size.
And it's like how big?
You know, like the size of a dragonfly, maybe slightly larger and a little bit meatier.
Cool, like as long as a finger.
Yeah.
Okay. And like, does it just fly for forever?
Yeah, it flies until you tell it to stop.
Can it get killed?
Magic items are generally pretty hard to destroy. I
Yeah,
suppose
that's
someone
pretty
could get rid of the
Disenchant
magic,
it.
right? But
So basically, it just flies around you and kills all the little bugs all the time.
yes, good for people that maybe
Don't
spend a
like
lot of
bugs.
time in tropical areas. So, you know, bugs maybe carry diseases and things.
Yeah, I mean, my vote is for the dragonfly or the bell.
Yeah, I vote the dragonfly.
I say the dragonfly too.
But like, if we also want another item, we can split money. And are we making our first group purchase? This is
I think we might be.
This is amazing.
I
How
think
much-
I think the first group
How many of
purchase
us
should be on
have it?
something that's not useful but awesome. Like the holy symbol of Ilustray, because I wouldn't mind having Brad sing every night, personally. But I'll still give
That
40
is
gold if
true.
you want to get the dragonfly because mosquitoes suck.
I mean, we could always, I mean, once again, we're still going to have to pay, because we haven't paid Tate yet, right?
We have not
Yeah,
yet.
we haven't paid Tate yet, and we haven't paid the docking fee that we'll need to
Yeah,
move
I
our
mean,
horses.
I don't know how rolling in it you guys are, but maybe we could take care of that and then see how much we can all divvy up, and maybe we can get 2 items, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Is
in
it-
this place, I only pretty much have enough to pay for like the Tate's Passage. Like I have 28 gold from here. So
I have a decent amount of gold from here. I have 160, but between the dock fees and the
I say let's take care of the dock fees. Go back, talk to Athior, see if we can get him to come with us to possibly pitch in for a diamond and the rest of the stuff.
Also the horses.
Yeah, we gotta.
horses, dock fees.
We have to do the
and
dock
then
fee before the
PT.
horses, though, because
Yeah.
the dock fee. That's
Yeah.
how we get access to the cranes, right, Matt?
So get all the errands done, then maybe come back for like the luxury stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what
just
I
come
would
back with
say.
Athior. Shit, we could probably convince Tate to buy some cool stuff. Like, he loves unique things. Did you see his wall? We should totally bring him here.
Probably been here.
I don't know. We should ask. He'll
Yeah.
totally
So let's
buy some
go. Let's
stuff.
go.
He'll
Take care
probably
of the
get
dock
the angel
fees
wing.
and come back.
Cool.
Is everybody
Hey,
good with that?
Rezon,
Mr. Rayson, yes.
Rezon, we're going to come back with our friend who, our servant who carries our money.
All right then. I will see you and your servant a bit later then.
He's not really. He's our teacher. But we're going to kill a dragon with him.
As you say.
All right, bye. See you soon.
Goodbye. Whoever walks out of the building last gets a small plink on the back of the head as a small crossbow bolt impacts with their cranium.
Ow!
Who said ow?
Kalora.
Darn. I was like, it was Logan in my head, and then I thought Melody said ow.
Well, to be fair, it may have like just skimmed over the top of Kalora's head and then hit Logan.
Cool.
It
So
was
where are you guys
close
going first?
Do we want to go talk to the
Dockmaster.
Dockmaster? Yeah.
Okay. So in that case, you guys head to the dockmaster's hut, where you know it is, going down the 2 levels to the dock side of port side.
Are neither of the other 2 ships gone?
The
Elven ship.
elven ship would be gone.
Okay.
But no, the other one is still there. They leave tomorrow, I believe. The dockmaster's hut appears to be opened, like the door is open, maybe to let a breeze come through, but doesn't look like anybody is gathered around there right now or burning it down or anything crazy like that.
I'll step right in.
Okay. You step inside,
Oh,
and
Lex.
the same dockmaster that you met the previous time is there poring over a what looks to be a ledger of some kind, dipping a quill in ink and then writing numbers down in slots. It looks up as you enter.
Right as we walk in, Zaffre's hand just goes up and like face palms. You guys, we should have got the sailor hat.
You're right.
What do you mean?
Inside joke. Never mind.
As I approach, I'm gonna get to where I can take like a look sneakily at his ledger. If there's anything that seems, what's the word I'm looking for? Not malicious.
80?
Yes, precarious.
Precarious. Can you give me a
Just
sense of what you're looking for? 'Cause
Okay, something that
precarious
doesn't
means
seem.
it's resting on a precipice
Okay.
about to fall.
Okay, something that doesn't seem
She's
good.
trying to see if it seems illegitimate, like there's
Okay.
something illegal
Yeah.
Anything
going on.
sketchy is fine.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes,
There's
go
a
ahead and
word.
make a perception check.
Okay.
While she starts that, I say, "Hello. How are you doing today?"
Busy.
20, 27.
27. Looking at the sheet, you can tell that the vast majority of cost that comes into that flows through this shipmaster's or dockmaster's hut is to do with the nightly docking of the small ships, the fishing ships. They pay to dock their ships up at night when they're not going out, and though it's a small amount, the amount of ships makes it a lot more. The larger ships, while they do bring in substantial amounts of money for the city, are more of a rare and small thing. They come by, you know, looking at it, it looks like they've had 8 to 10 larger ships come in so far in the last, 4 weeks or so, which is what you can see on the page. But hundreds of the smaller ships because they have the same ones over and over and over again.
And doesn't like show how much it's charged, like the larger ships?
Larger ships are, it's hard to say because all of the ships' names kind of look the same. But if you go by the larger numbers, anywhere from 50 gold to 150 is the highest number you see.
Okay, cool.
Hello.
Yes, what can I do for you all? Back again, I see. Did you find a ship to take you to wherever you're going?
We did.
Yeah.
Actually, that's what we came here to talk to you about. We would like to inquire what the Seafire's debt currently is for their docking fees.
You going with the Seafire then? With Tate?
We didn't say that. We just want to know if they're in debt.
You're going to pay their dock fees from the goodness of your heart?
They're really good people.
I'm like smiling super wide, like doe-eyed.
Well, I can't say they've
Been the best customers or residents?
but they haven't been getting too much in the way either. That being said, I do have to collect the dock fee. That is my job. When are you leaving with them then?
Well, possibly today, maybe tomorrow morning.
Kind of see him running through some mental arithmetic. 60 gold pieces would do fine.
That seems fair.
So that's it? That's a lot.
No, 60 sounds fine.
I mean,
Since they've been like, just hanging out in the ocean, like
It's
hanging
such a
out a little
small
bit,
boat, too.
do you think we can maybe do 50?
I mean, it's just as big as any of the other boats in the docks that you've seen.
To be fair, it's a docking fee, and he didn't dock, and we're still gonna give you gold. Like
He's been taking advantage of the town, regardless, moving goods.
He's been taking
That's
advantage
what
of
the
the
docking
town.
fee is.
I mean, he spent money at the bar.
Matt, can I check this guy just to see like if he seems shady
Sure.
with what he's saying? It was on a natural 20, then rolled to a 14. So it's a 22.
22. He just seems annoyed and like he's trying to get money for a service that he genuinely believes he has been providing.
Who do you give the money to? Do you give it to the city?
The vast majority of it goes back into the city. Some of it's dock maintenance, some of it pays my salary and that of the other dock workers, but the vast majority of it goes back to the city.
But like, are you the boss or do you have a boss?
I have a boss.
And he is working for the city.
Yes.
What does he do?
He's the head of the Merchants Guild for the city that reports back to Parliament in Mightside.
Okay, gotcha.
Honestly, guys, I think 60 is a really reasonable price for a docking ship not docking.
See, the only big ships pay more than 50.
They were 150, weren't they?
No,
Anywhere
it
from
was
50 to
50 to
150.
the big ships were 50 to 150.
Yeah, so
We're not a big ship.
When I said the big ships, I mean the types of ships, the ones that you saw in
Yeah.
the docks. Not like a giant ship. A giant ship would be closer to 150, like the big, huge
Okay,
merchant
gotcha.
ships.
That was my confusion, and I thought we were considering these boats small boats.
No.
So like I said, since he's only, here for a short amount of time, and we're going to be leaving very soon, and he hasn't actually really used the docks, would you do 50?
If you can leave today, we can make it 50.
We can leave today.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Can horses down with cranes? Can you help us with that? Because we have lots of horses we have to get on the boat. To stand there on top.
He kind of like grunts.
We'll be out of here much sooner if you can do that.
There's normally forms you got to fill out and shit for that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, maybe we can still do the 60 gold, and you charge us 50 for the dock, and we don't know what happens to the other two.
70, you leave today. I grease the right palms to get your horses down to the docks.
We don't have to
Agreed.
pay any additional fees?
I put my hand out, shake.
Yeah, that's good with me.
And we don't have to pay any additional fees?
Yep,
No,
70 is
that'll
what he
go
said. That's what I
towards
hold him to.
20 gold to get the greased palms at the cranes, and 50 for the docking fee, assuming you leave before midnight
Matt,
tonight.
you can echo right now.
Yeah, Mary's in here.
Okay.
I would also suggest just changing the name of a docking fee because, he's not really docked, right? He's just kind of hanging out.
Yeah, but we're paying the docking fee because he has to. We have to pay the docking fee because he has to pay he has to dock the boat so we can get the horses on.
Oh yeah,
we
yeah.
have to dock. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just making a suggestion for them for the future, right? If it's not
What
called
would
a
you call
docking
it?
fee, I don't know. I'm just saying. You won't have to fight to get 60 gold next time. If you
Well,
just
most
So
have
you
it
could call
something
call
it
else.
a floating fee because the boat is floating in your water.
Maybe you make a floating fee that's more expensive. So if they don't dock, but if they use the city services, it costs them more, right? And then they'll want to dock because
I mean,
it's cheaper.
don't you guys have like guards that are supposed to hold people to things?
Yes, we do.
Have we noticed guards walking around?
You have notice cards. They
Do
carry
they look
golden
like-
tridents and whips and are dressed in the same flowing white robes, except they have a bronzed breastplate.
Does it seem like they're like, in what we've seen of them, does it seem like they're like an organized, like true city guard, or it's kind of like thrown together, we have a little bit more power than everyone else kind of thing?
Now that you're thinking about it, it definitely seems organized. They definitely seem like a regimented guard. You see them changing guard up in the upper city and even the mid city, as well as posted places where they might be important places to be posted, like entrances to shopping areas and sometimes in front of storefronts. But thinking back on it now and trying to kind of come to terms with that, you realize that you haven't seen very many down at the docks, maybe 2 or 3 at a time, whereas in the upper city, you've seen in the same location 10 to 15.
Okay.
Thank you all for your advice. Please give me my money, and I will go talk to the cranes to get your horses down. Have them at the upper crane. Can you do within the next hour?
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
easy
Yes.
to get there in the next hour, Matt.
Yes, it would be easy.
Making sure. Okay.
I hand over 10 pieces of gold.
I hand over 9.
What's the split?
Yeah.
It's like 8.75 or
What you
8
can
gold
do.
75. But
Yeah, I'll put in 21
How many more do
to
you
get it
need?
back to an even number.
It's at 40 now. 30 more.
Here's 10.
20 more.
I'll put in.
I'll give 20.
Azrian just said 20.
Weighs it, puts it down on the desk, writes a figure in his ledger. All right, be at the first upper crane An hour from now. Thank you.
How soon do you need us on the dock?
You're docked for the rest of the day if you want to use it.
Okay, cool.
Until midnight, he points at you, Zaffre.
Okay. What? What is? We have to get the horses in the dock before midnight. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. So you leave, or I leave.
Should probably go tell Tate that we need him to bring the boat over, and then we can go get our horses.
Yep. I'll just
you message?
use thanks for interrupting me. Say I'm going to use message to tell Tate, hey, you have to dock the boat. We paid the fee. We're bringing the horses.
Right. Okay then. We'll dock them. Bye.
He's docking then.
You hear a
He says
hissing
bye.
sound come from the general direction of the sea fire as it begins powering up its steam engine.
When I step out,
I'm going to cast message again. Sorry, babe. I'm going to cast message again and say, this is magic. Oh yeah, we're going to bring the horses. See you soon.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Sure. Bye.
when
Goodbye.
I step out of the dockmaster's place, do I see the crane that he was talking about?
Yeah, you see both cranes. There are three kind of tiers to the city, right? So the top crane is over on the left-hand side of like the cliffs as you're looking up. Just a big wooden and metal structure with that is currently pushing down a pallet full of goods, or releasing a pallet full of goods, I should say. And then the second crane is on the level below that, the mid-city, over on the right-hand side.
Like how far, I guess, would it be?
I mean, it's a pretty mid-sized city. They're not like miles away, but you imagine it's probably to get up there, up the stairs, and to the top of the crane to the first one would probably be 10 minutes, and then 10 minutes to the other one as well. And then it would probably take you 25 minutes to get to the horses from where you are standing right now, being as far as possible from that point within the city.
Gotcha. All right, so I say we go get the horses and then head up to the crane.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Notice the dockmaster coming out of the building behind you and talking to one of the shipyard workers, a kid around 14. And the kid sprints and runs up the stairs as fast as he can. Dockmaster goes back into the house, or into the hut.
So start walking towards the horses.
Okay. You guys make your way.
No, wait.
No?
Do we want to get Atior so we can go to the shop on the way to the horses?
Do you want to go get him, and then we can, we'll go get the horses, and we'll meet you halfway?
Yeah, I'll go get
Great.
him from the boat and meet you up at the stable.
Can you also message him?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm going to have to walk him up to the stable. I'm going to walk with him.
Fair.
I don't know if he knows the way there and to the shop and stuff,
I'll go with you, Zaffre, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go with you too.
I also wanted to like stop by that that one thing, the thrift shop, that to like get some new lyre string.
The pawn shop?
Or not the lute string. Yeah, the pawn shop. Just
okay.
That's all I really need from there. If you want to
Sure.
just, I don't.
Yeah, I think you were all going back to that shop after the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're taking Atior there.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay. Good.
And then I'll send another message. Atior, when the boat is docked, can you please come outside? We need you.
Sure. Hope it's nothing too troubling.
I'll let him sweat. He's like, hope it's nothing bad.
So you guys walk over to the leftmost dock while the rest of the party begins winding their way through the city, going up the stairs towards the stables. And you guys are sitting for a time. It's going to take a couple minutes for the Seafire to dock. So do you have anything you need to do? Are you talking, or are we just waiting?
Zaffre, I was thinking, so we're going to go against this dragon, right?
Yeah.
And I was wondering if maybe, like, do you think it would be possible to make something more destructive to attack it with from, like, range? Do you think that would be possible, like a ballista or something that we could take with us? That could shoot, like, some cool big bolts into it, you know?
I mean,
You think it'd be
it
possible to
might be
create something like
possible,
that?
but it would be possible to create something like that. I don't think it would really be useful against a dragon usually. I mean, they're so fast and literally can just destroy it and like by landing on it. So I feel like we'd put a lot of effort into building a big structure like that. But
That's true.
then it might be destroyed easily before we can use it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But generally, it's better if you have like 6 or 7 of those and you can shoot all of them at once.
Yeah.
But one of them, it's kind of hard. Like, I once saw this TV show where they shot down a dragon with one, and it didn't make any sense.
Yeah, me too. I didn't really understand it either.
It really was bad.
TV show.
Yeah, that
It was
was
just a
like some of
thought.
the dumbest shit.
That's all I was gonna ask.
Cool. So you
We'd
guys,
probably go on talking about, I would explain multiple like ways to treat the metal to be the best use for a catapult or something of that sort, and probably bore them until I run out of things to say about it, or the boat is stopped.
I'm sure the boat would dock before you ran out of things to say about metal. Within a couple minutes, the smooth moving oars of the Seafire bring it close enough to the dock where it can feasibly tie up. Immediately, the hatch opens and Natior steps out onto the main deck of the Seafire. Kind of walks up to the edge and looks
Hey,
down at the
Natior,
dock.
didn't mean to scare you, nothing like really bad. We just had to talk.
I wasn't really worried.
Oh, you sounded pretty worried.
Could you give me a hand here? That's quite a jump for me.
Yeah, I'll reach out.
He kind of just grabs onto your arm and kind of leaps and then uses your arm to kind of stabilize himself as he lands on the dock. Thanks, Zaffre. Appreciate it. What are we doing?
You're welcome. So we found a shop that is like crazy. So first off, oh shit, was Tate over there?
Tate's in the ship.
Point just at the hatch.
I think he was driving. Navigating?
Do you know how to do the message spell? I've done it like 5 times today.
I can go run and grab him really quick.
Yeah, we could just go inside. That is an option.
Okay, fine. Let's go grab him.
Okay. So you guys go approach Tate, who at this point is walking up from that one area of the bottom ship that you guys haven't been in, and into the main hold where your living quarters are. All right, we're docked. When are we leaving?
Before midnight.
Great.
But
Great.
the thing that is really that we need to do right now is move the horses down to the dock and get them on the boat.
Right. Horses.
We've arranged to be able to use the cranes. There's also this shop that has lots of magic items, Tate, that I think you would want to check out because I saw those things you collect over there. They're pretty cool in there. There's a metal feather, there's an angel feather. Anyway.
I went there a few days ago.
Did you see anything you liked? Did you get anything there?
I bought a couple things, yeah. A couple of.
What'd you buy?
Let's see what Tate bought. One sec, I need my phone for this.
Okay, and while he's trying to remember what he bought, I'll just say to Athior, we didn't get a chance to talk about this, but I don't have any more diamonds to revive anyone on this mission. I didn't know if you had some, or if we wanted to buy some. There's a shop that has them. I thought you might also be interested in looking at the magic items or any other provisions we might need.
I have some gold. I believe I told you how much.
Yeah, and we also have to talk about paying Tate, how we're going to do that, because we still owe him 250. Right, Tate, that's how much?
I was hoping you guys would remember.
Yeah, like I said, it was 150.
Wait, that doesn't sound right.
No, 150 sounds right. Right?
Why don't
I
both
was
of you
there.
guys
I was
make-
playing the music for you.
Why don't both of you guys make deception checks?
Wait, is Tito here? I didn't know Tito was here. I thought it was just us.
Yeah, Tito didn't. Did you come with us, Tito? I thought you went
Wait,
with.
aren't you guys going to the thrift shop after?
Yeah, he
We're
didn't.
all
Wait,
gonna
I'm
be
No, we're all going.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Never mind. I'm
Okay,
not sure.
Tito's not there. So Zaffre, you can make a deception check.
Yeah, I would have.
It's an 18.
18.
I'm gonna ask your friends.
Okay, that's fine.
Hey, that's Tate talking.
What do you need to ask us?
Yeah, not you guys, the other friends.
Oh.
Probably B-Rad. I'll ask him.
Tate, I was wondering.
I bought these boots, by the way. That's what I bought. These boots. He spits on the boot, and the spit disappears as it hits the boot. It can't get dirty. Just more of a quality of life thing than anything else, really.
Yeah, but where does the
stuff go?
I don't know, and I don't care. It's not on my boots.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Hope they don't get stolen.
That's that's a very good investment, I must say. That's a lot of time saved over the course of a lifetime.
That's what I thought.
You just got back like a year of your life. I don't know how much it was.
It's like if you had a magical bottle of wine that could always get you drunk. You know, how much time would that save? Shopping for wine and stuff.
Right? And
Or drinking it. What if you could just touch the bottle and it got you drunk? How convenient would that be?
right? Or what if you have trouble getting drunk, right? So now you just always get drunk
I
immediately.
had trouble.
Take.
What?
I have to talk to Atior, so think really loud in your head. That's your next question to me. I'm not there, so.
I can't hear you, Michael. I think you're.
Yeah, I can't hear you either, Michael.
Nope, I'm not muted. Hello, hello, hello.
I'm hearing you off of Josh's mic.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello. Stupid AirPod. Hello.
No.
No.
Okay.
While he's figuring that out, Tate,
I can hear you.
I can't remember before, but did you plan on stopping at like the offering place that is in the middle of the sea on the way to
Wait.
Stale?
Ben said no. I said no. She said yes.
I'm not really bothered.
think it'll
If you guys want to go, we could do that. But it's nothing special. It's just a rock with a statue on it.
I'm just trying to talk to Atior.
I don't know. I'm a
Now I
little
can hear you.
superstitious, so
Now
if we
I can hear
could
you.
possibly go there, that would be great.
Yeah, just you guys decide. Let us know. We can do it.
Pointless ass Pokemon.
You're paying.
Sounds good.
Hatsur speaks up. What were you going to say, Zaffre?
I did say all of it already to Atior. He just never responded because Tate was looking
What did you
something
say?
up.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Diamonds. Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
I
Diamonds and provisions.
do have some money. I planned on spending some of it on the boat. So I know Eluharad didn't bring anything, unfortunately. But I have 500 gold, somewhere around there.
Do you have any diamonds with you?
I
by
believe
chance, or do you know if
All of the
Deliver
diamonds
at
of
us.
value that we had enchanted with the Revivify spell were used after the dragon attack.
Yeah, I don't mean ones enchanted with Revivify. I just mean regular $300 diamonds, 300 gold diamonds.
No, well, it is to say that we aren't clerics, right?
Yeah,
we're
so
wizards.
I
Generally,
just was hoping you had them, the diamonds.
we use
for
those
the-
diamonds to prepare for attacks and things like that, and have Revivify cast on them in advance. And unfortunately, we ran out our stores entirely during the attack and the subsequent days.
That's fair.
I wouldn't be adverse to buying some.
Yeah, I think we need to. But I'll let you talk to everyone at the stables. We're gonna go meet them there, and then we're going to this shop.
All right, ready when you are.
Anybody else have anything to do? Tate, were you coming with us?
I'm not really bothered. Just need to get the
Are
crew
going
ready.
with us,
Go
or
pick up
better
some,
not?
maybe some provisions. We're leaving by midnight. Alchemist fire. Did you see any alchemist fire in the that shop we went to? They said they were out when I went.
Let me check. I remember everything because I'm Lex. I did not see any of fire stuff.
Did you ask? Sometimes they don't put that out in the open if they're selling it.
I mean, they offered us sooth salts.
Sooth salts. Oh, sooth salts. Those are fun.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like they would have told us, right? About the fire.
Alchemist fire is a bit more heavily regulated than just some drugs.
Oh. We'll ask. Actually, you should come and you should ask, because he'll probably recognize you and then be like, yeah, you're a little easier to do business with.
Yeah, he takes a pouch off of his belt and hands it to you. Just buy me. See if you can get 10 flasks out of that if they've got it. If not, just bring it back, I guess.
Okay. 10 flasks?
10 flasks of alchemist fire, yeah.
That's not an alcohol, right? It's like this. It's what they said.
It's like
it's in
like
flasks.
lamp oil, but more explosive.
Gotcha. So like liquid fire.
Something like that.
Sounds like whiskey, but okay. 10 flasks.
Yep.
I'm just gonna
We'll get
peek in the
everything
bag.
ready.
How much does it look like it might be approximately?
More than a couple hundred, easily.
Is it all gold pieces?
There's gold and platinum mixed, so it's kind of hard to tell just by weight.
Okay.
All right, so you guys head up to the docks. Other crew, was there anything you guys wanted to talk about while you're waiting for this group?
You're waiting at the stables for them?
You're on your way to the stables.
I assume you're walking there and then wait for them until they get there. But yeah, you could have this conversation while you're walking or once you're already there. Doesn't matter.
No, I was gonna. If we were not waiting, we were just gonna get our, horses.
I said that we were gonna get the horses and then meet at the cranes,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it was translated.
Gotcha. Then that would be the plan. Meeting at the cranes.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. So you guys are at the stables in that case.
All right, so if we're meeting everybody at the cranes, I'll get the horses Zaffre and I rode on. Kalora, you'll get the...
Yeah, Narfran and I.
And Hezria just left his here. Logan or Tita, would you mind taking his?
I can get his.
Okay, because I know you guys shared one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be
Yeah,
fine.
fine. Tito, you think you can handle it?
I think so. That thing is huge, though.
I can take that one.
I mean, the other one's just as huge.
I thought
All of that. That's what she
more
said.
horse.
Oh, is Hezrian's a warhorse?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I can just get Hezrian's. We'll hope for the best.
You don't have to ride it. You can just use the reins and walk beside it.
Yeah, I guess that works too. Wait, is Brad with us?
Core is there as well, and he's going to cast Speak with Animals and just explain the situation to the horses as to what they're doing. So the horses are on board.
Nice.
Well, that works.
All right.
By the way, I am there, Andrew.
Oh well.
So, yeah.
Gore kind of just handled it anyways.
Yeah.
Sorry, you want to do something?
I take out
just like
Damascus and I get on and I wait for the rest of the crew to get ready.
I get on my horse as well.
Okay. So everybody either mounts up or begins leading the horses over to.
I'm just gonna lead the horse.
Okay.
I'm
I'll
just
get on mine.
I'm just trotting,
Lovely.
leading.
So you guys begin heading through town at a rather gentle pace, getting back to the crane, the first crane on the right-hand side of the city from this perspective, just as the rest of the group leading Atior arrives there as well. So now everyone is together.
Oh, hello guys.
It was good timing.
Solid 8.
It hooked up precipitously.
Yep.
Nice.
Exactly.
So are we just handing off the horses and then going
Does
to
there
the
seem
shop?
like there's somebody in charge?
You see various people. They don't have a load that they're dealing with right now, milling around the bottom of the crane. 3 guys, rather burly, look like dock workers or sailors.
Lex, go tell him that the dockmaster sent us.
Hopefully his
Uh,
word has gotten to them.
Cool. Can you come with me as well?
Sure, if you want.
All right. So head over to that group of people. Excuse me.
One of them kind of turns around, a human, completely bald, tattoos up and down his very big arms, wearing the equivalent of a medieval tank top almost, and some tight brown sackcloth pants with sandals, walks up. Yeah, were you the ones we're waiting for?
If the dockmaster has talked to you about us, then yes. About our horses.
Get up. You guys are, what, how many horses was it?
8? Was it 8?
5, right?
Or 5? I don't know.
5 horses.
However, so many right in
about
front
a
of
horse,
you.
4 about a horse.
Oh,
Hezrian
well,
about a
those
horse.
horses, the ones behind you and the okay, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, have they ever done the crane before, the horses?
I don't know.
Right. Well,
Clark, can you ask them?
sure, I can ask. He walks over to the horses, shortly returns and says, no. None of them have done the crane thing before.
Did you tell them what to expect?
Kind of explained. I don't think they really understood, but...
We'll tell them apples after. And we have to bring them apples. We should get some apples.
Paul, do you think you can stay here to oversee the horses getting onto the ship nicely? And I kind of say that hushed, not as much in front of the other guys, like the people that are helping assist.
I think that might be a good idea. I can, talk to them and make sure they are relaxed and, hopefully help a bit.
All right. Cool.
Do
Thank you.
Do our horses have saddlebags and stuff?
Yeah, you didn't buy saddles specifically with extra saddlebags, so it's just a standard saddle with 2 saddlebags on either side. The war horses, the saddlebags are smaller because they're generally more there for keeping you in the saddle rather than carrying goods. But the riding horses have a total of 2 saddlebags that have pretty good space on them on either side.
What about the battle horses?
Battle horses have saddlebags as well. They just don't carry as much stuff. The battle horses do also have straps that would hold weapons to the saddle, though.
Can I see if there's anything in the saddlebags?
They're in each of the saddlebags. They all have the same thing. Would be a feed bag and a brush. That's what would have come with the horses.
All right, so we're going to take care of some quick business in town. We'll be back. But our friend here is going to stay. And I'm saying that to the guys.
Yeah, right. Somebody's going to have to watch him when we get him down there and take him to the other one and then get them down to the bottom city. So good you're leaving somebody.
Hey,
right, we'll get started then.
You guys, was Tate got? Is Tate got? Did Tate come with us or no?
No.
Did Tate say he was going to have food for the horses?
Yes,
Okay, cool.
but I'm almost wondering now if he remembers that. We'll get some apples.
Yeah, we should probably get some feed too, just in case.
Can't you like magically create food? Can you create?
Oh shit!
horse
Yeah,
food?
I can do that. I can make like wheats. It's like wheats and stuff, but
Yeah, like oats.
yeah, I can probably make that.
Hezrian's
Lots
probably
of
fine sharing his spoon with the horses.
As long as it's for a good cause, I guess.
Cool. So the dock workers, as you guys are kind of walking away, begin taking the existing connection off the end of their long rope and putting in the harness that's generally used for taking horses. It's just a wide leather strap with 4 holes in it that the horse's legs go through, and then it attaches the rope and lifts them up the ground and then lowers them into the lower city to the platform below. So they begin working on that while Kor is calming the horses, and you guys make your way back to the marching tankard. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. At the marching tankard, you guys go back inside. You are again met with the same scene and the tankard marching around, who immediately, upon recognizing you, begins pelting you with crossbow bolts again. Fuck. Go back to the inventory. Risan comes back up. You did come back. Is this your servant?
No. Oh, fuck, I forgot. No, he's not
I
a
said
servant.
we were just kidding. Remember?
Oh, I forgot. Sorry. Who is your friend then, not the servant?
This is our teacher, Atior.
Ah, you did say teacher. Yes, teacher. Good to meet you, Atior. You as well. It's quite the interesting shop you've got here. Sorry about him. He's quite interesting.
I kind of chuckle at even the shop owner getting hit by it.
No, that was Atior.
That was Atior.
Oh, shoot. I was sorry. I looked to the right. See, never mind. Don't listen to me.
I am the same person, so it's an easy mistake to make.
Sorry, I thought Matt said that.
Zaffre, you mentioned we might be looking at diamonds. Is that right?
Yeah, he's got a lot of diamonds.
I do indeed. Come with me. He walks back to the counter and begins pulling out diamonds. What price range are you looking for? I believe we need over 100. Is that right?
It's 300 for Vivify.
300. So we'll be able to buy one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sure, I can do this 300 gold. That's fine. He pulls out a a smallish
I don't
diamond.
know if we want you to do all 300 because you're going to help with the boat as well, right?
That's
I was
the
planning on it.
shopkeeper.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
The shopkeeper takes out a sufficiently sized diamond of around 300 gold, and Atior looks it over. Looks like it would do, Zaffre.
Sorry, what?
This one looks like it would do.
Does it look like it would do?
Yes.
It does look like it would do. I like it.
So are we splitting the cost, or what's the plan?
I mean,
I
yeah,
could buy the whole thing, but
can
then
anybody else put in for the diamond? I'll put in 50. I'll put in 50 for the diamond. Can
I can put in
anybody else
25.
have?
I'll put in 25.
How much do you need?
So we've got 100. I'd say we need 100 more, and then he'll pay 100.
All right, here's 25.
Wait, so Zaffre, how much did you put in? 75?
I put in 50, and then
50. Kalor put in
Lex,
25.
Did Lex put in? Who else said 25? It was
Laura.
Laura and someone else.
Jamie.
Clerebold.
Amy.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so
you've got a
that's
total of
100.
100 between you.
So we need 100 more.
Let me
I'll
see.
put in 25.
Okay, that's 125.
I'll put in a platinum.
That's 135.
65.
I'll put in
Platinum's
10.
worth 10
I can
gold.
put in 10.
55. And we are
That's
possibly.
worth the 10.
Was there anything else anybody needed? Maybe we could go down on the price for the diamond if we buy a lot of things. Maybe.
Well, I definitely think we should get that dragonfly.
Yeah, so we wanted the dragonfly and the diamond.
Oh, this is the shop where you can get Tinker's Tool, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and Tinker's Tools?
Tinker's Tools?
That's what you said you were looking for earlier.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah,
just
but we
didn't
didn't
remember. if
buy
it's
it
the same
earlier.
shop.
Oh, okay.
So you want the diamonds, the Tinker's Tools, the loot strings, and the dragonfly? Is that right? So 4
Yeah.
items. Coming
that
to a
could-
total of, let's see, let me do some math. That's a total of 500 gold, 5 silver. I could take 10% off. So we'll call it, just to make it easy, 450 gold.
Oh yeah, do you have I'll whisper. Alchemist fire.
He looks momentarily shocked that you'd ask. How much do you need?
It's not me, it's for a friend. 10
Sure.
flasks.
10 flasks. That'd be around 500 gold.
That sounds really expensive, but let me count my money.
I'll say you probably would have counted it on the way over, and it is exactly 500 gold.
Okay, so 500 gold, and then will include that in the big purchase, so 10% off of that, right?
Let's see. So the total would be 900 gold.
Okay, I put 550 down on the table. So total's 900. We need 350.
Okay,
Do you guys
so
want to
let's-
just take 10% off of what we would have paid?
No, that makes
Okay.
it complicated.
All
think
right,
we
just
should
tell me how much each of you are putting in. I'll do the math for you.
So
putting in
Tate and Michael is
Tate and my gold is 550.
Are we splitting the dragonfly?
Yeah, that's going to be a party item, I think.
Matt, I'm also going to get the snake.
Okay. Do we want to include that
So
as,
if we
as a
get,
singular purchase
yeah,
for you?
include it.
Yeah, that's
of course,
that's
I'll
definitely
include,
included, so we
I'll
get the
include my
discount.
150 for that.
Okay.
But if we get the fifth item, like another magic item, is there a possible way we could get a little bit more of a discount?
Is that an in-character
should
statement?
Probably ask.
That's me asking as Hezrian.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It is difficult. These magical items are already pretty cheap.
Oh, I know.
Prompting.
It's just. Huh? What were you saying?
He's just prompting for more information, maybe.
Well, just we're foreigners from this town. We're not from this place, and I think these items will help us along our journey. And I don't know, I'm not asking for like a crazy big discount, maybe like maybe like a 5%, but like you can bargain. I could also give you does anyone still use those asking the party the dark vision goggles we got?
I don't think we've had a chance to use them yet.
I don't think we should give
I think
them away
those. I think those are worth keeping. Those are probably
Yes.
more valuable than the stuff that we're looking at right now, as far as like benefit.
especially because once we get into nighttime watches and whatnot.
Or a dragon.
Hezri, go ahead and make
I'm
a
fine with it.
persuasion check.
Oh, I was
How about,
sorry.
Zaffre was going to add on. I mean, you get new stuff next week, right?
I wouldn't say pointing out a point about his life would give him advantage, but maybe he doesn't need it.
24 on the persuasion check.
24.
Good shit.
It's really the alchemist fire that does it, but yeah, I can give you a 15% discount on the total. It's
Oh, sweet, we appreciate it.
977 gold, 5 silver.
Okay, so that's everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the 550 plus 150 for you, everything. So that's 700. So we need 300 more. Plus at yours 100, so that's 800. So 200 more.
I'll put in
17.
I'll put in a total of 50 for the splitting of items
I'll also put in a total of I'll put in a total of 75 on splitting of the items.
I have a.
My 150 plus 75.
Okay, I need to know what you guys are putting in total.
Hold on. So we need 75 more where we're at right now.
Could we?
Can you get mine?
So I can track it.
Jesus.
Okay, let's just have
Yeah,
one
I'll
by
break it-
one
let me
person
break it
go
down
what
for
they're
Matt
putting
real
in.
quick.
That's what I was going to say. One by one, tell Matt what we're putting in.
That's what I want.
Not
Could we?
Zaffre, each individual person.
Let me just give Matt this real quick, and then we'll move.
500 from Tate,
500 from Tate,
50 from Zaffre,
50 from Zaffre,
50 from
50 from Kalora, so that's
600.
600.
Okay, you are getting triple echo right now, so.
Yeah, guys, mute real quick. Alexa, mute.
My bad. No, it's me.
You're not muted.
Just,
on here.
Michael, just include what you're giving with Tate and your money, because I might be able to put in more if we're still short.
Okay.
That's why I was
So
saying.
550.
I do individually.
550. I've got that. Who's next? At yours putting in 100, so I'll do that. We're at 327.
You're waiting till the end, Kalora, sorry.
Yeah.
So
Logan is
Hezrian
putting
for
in
sure is
17.
150.
17 for
Plus
Logan.
75, so 225.
And I'll put in
225 for Hezrian?
43 to make the
Yeah,
math.
Hang on.
225 from Hezrian.
Just
Yeah,
wait
that's
until
fine.
I confirm
225.
the amount before you start saying the next one, please. Hezrian, how much are you putting in? 225? Thank you. All right, Tito, how much are you putting in?
43.
43. Thank you, sir. Logan, I got you. Clerebold, are you putting anything in?
I got 15 gold.
What's the balance, Matt, now?
Balance is 42 and 5 silver.
I put in the 42.
Okay, so we
I
need
have
5
a
silver.
question on if we could afford another item.
Okay.
This is a group question. Can we afford another item?
Hold on, let me take a look
What's
because
the
I did want to
reason?
go buy
What
another
item
weapon.
and why?
So the singy thing, right? So if you sing beautifully, we can use it all the time. So we can, use it
To get tips?
to get tips.
I feel like Tito already does that, though.
Okay.
Do I not sing beautifully enough?
I think we need maybe we should monetize Tito more. Maybe that's the real moral of the
I mean-
story.
Okay.
There.
Tito, I mean, if we did get that item, you could do duets with a female voice.
Or a male voice.
To be
Or a
fair, I
male
always
voice.
do try to sell Tito, so.
I mean, maybe if we like slay that dragon, steal its gold,
You're right. We could always come back here.
It will be different magic items next week.
Oh. Well, then maybe we can't come back here and get that. But could we afford it? I mean, I still have.
I couldn't personally.
Okay.
Okay, hold on one second. Matt, you said the weapon shop, it was 25 gold pieces on top for like a special pink weapon plus the base weapon, right?
Yeah, it was basically 25 gold on top of the normal weapon price.
Okay. So I'm going to say that I went and bought a scimitar, which would be a total of 50. A pink scimitar, okay?
Did you want to buy the scimitar or the double-bladed scimitar that we talked about? Because she had that.
Oh, yeah. How much is the double-bladed one?
I don't remember.
Okay. Because depending on the breakdown of that, I could still then put in like another 20 gold, most likely, depending on Tate and whatnot. So
125 for the double-bladed.
Whoa.
Hey, Matt.
Can't get that. So a standard scimitar.
Okay. Yeah.
What was the price on the sword that Brad bought?
That he bought the falchion, the great falchion.
Yeah.
200.
200. Okay.
And how much are we going to owe Tate again? 250?
Oh yeah, Brad. You remember us talking with Tate and telling him it was 100? He told us it was 150 for the docking. And I will give Lex, who probably remembers perfectly and would be about to talk, the like biggest, most obvious don't say anything face I can.
I believe it was 150. I had a lot of drinks, so if you say it's 150, it's 150.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it was, but he seemed confused about that, so he's going to ask you. So I just wanted to make sure I didn't come across like a liar, because that's not what I like to do.
Okay.
So yeah, we will pay him 150, I think.
Okay.
Did the captain approach you about this being 150? Is that what happened?
No, so he was. I was trying to talk to Atior and figure out how much we owe everybody and how much everything would cost. And I didn't remember at first, and I was like, "How much was it?" And he was like, "I don't remember. I was hoping you would remember." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 150."
Well,
And he was like, "I'll ask Mirad."
I think it would be really cool if we could save some money, but also I don't really want to get fucked over by a bunch of pirates if he suddenly remembers that it was actually 250.
I would agree with that, especially if we're going to be in a boat with them out on the sea, miles away from help.
I mean, the worst case scenario, it sounds like we have a free boat. But okay, that's fine. We can
Zaffre,
give him
I'm really surprised that you're willing to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it would help us. So he's got plenty of money. He came in here yesterday and bought boots. Did never get dirty. He's fine.
Hex, what do you think?
I mean, I'm not against it.
Narfern?
Sorry, can you fill me in? I was talking to Shadow about what to eat later.
Yeah, is that Manuela's name now?
Oh.
They were discussing cheating Tate out of 100 gold by telling him that they agreed to 150 because he didn't seem to remember. Kalora is asking you if you think that would be a good
I'm not very keen on double crossing somebody that we're about to be on a boat with. I agree with Atior personally.
Kalora, a
Yeah.
recent conversation that you had with Lex doesn't leave your mind as you're asking these questions. It's almost like it was put there rather than you just remembering it. Like something is bringing it to the front of your mind. Zaffre's kind of the expert on what's good and what's bad.
Yeah.
I don't really feel right about it either.
I don't feel right about it.
I think, but again, I don't have much money. I mean, I can give you everything I have, but I know some of y'all are taking the bulk of the monetary hit here, but
So let's just say we did pay him the full amount. How many would we be splitting it between? Atior and Aluharad, are you contributing or no?
I was planning on it. I don't think Aluharat has much money, but he'll do what he can.
Okay. So the 9 of us plus you is 10. So if we did the full 250, that's 25 gold pieces a person.
Look,
Say your name.
If it solves things, I would put in the extra 100 myself. I don't think this is a good idea.
I agree.
I'm in that category.
I'm also in that category.
I can go either way as long as I don't have to pay the secondary fee.
Well, so that's my question: is who is unable to contribute just 25 gold pieces right now?
I mean, it's just 25 gold. So
I have 11, but I did just help buy some other stuff, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see how much you know, I'm fine with putting everything I have into it. I just need to know.
I mean, I have 59 gold of this time.
Hey, I have the same amount.
Nice.
I gave Tate a really good dagger.
Okay, so you're not contributing.
Really
I'm not contributing as much as the rest.
But you also
Okay.
kind of contributed more.
Correct.
I can give some. I don't know how much we need.
Hey Tito, how much you make the other night playing with the fancy guy?
He spent it all.
Oh,
He has
what about
silver and
Cole?
copper left.
Can't Cole
And
add
I
anything?
spent the rest of my things.
Well, I was
Or has
including
any
him
money.
in the 9.
Kalora's not there either.
So, okay, so I don't think we're going to be able to get another item, Brad. I think we have to just put everything that we have into paying Tate right now.
Okay,
And you sing beautifully anyway, B-Rad.
thank you.
That's true.
Well, I think that's it then.
Zaffre, do you think you can make more of the gold? I'll give you gold.
I can swap gold over, but yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, we have until midnight. I can, if anyone wants to swap more gold over, I can do that, so we are not as
I can swap some over.
financially drained.
Oh, really? Okay.
How much
Yeah,
can you
I mean,
like
what
do?
time is it right now, Matt?
I'll say probably early afternoon, 1 or 2 o'clock.
Okay, so I can.
How much can you make in a day?
So per short rest, I can make 200 gold. It takes an hour each time.
Oh, so then
So
we
I can
can.
spend 4 o'clock. I can make by 4 o'clock we can have 200 gold, and then I could
Okay.
rest an hour. 5 o'clock, 6, 7 o'clock we could have 200 more than that. So 400 if we really need to. If anyone wants to put that much money, but
Well,
beyond
I
that,
can.
I doubt the shop would be open.
Yeah.
Well, why
Let's
don't,
say
with what we have now, we get what we want now since we're here, and then tonight on the ship, you just make more.
That sounds like a good idea to me.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, if people need like B-Rad, we can't afford that other item right now. We would need to make gold before we get on the ship to leave.
Oh, we can afford it if we
pay the
pay
money that we
now
make
and make the money later.
Oh, make the money for
Yeah.
what's his face later. Okay, I got you.
But
I mean, I would be able to give you another 50 gold of normal gold if you can do that for me, Zaffre.
Okay, yeah, I think that's the best way because, like, I know worst case scenario, Zaffre has enough. I know, but I think we all have a little bit at least of the old time or our time gold to change over. At least the 250 gold worth.
And we can replace Atior's gold if he needs to put more in it.
Yeah. I like that idea. That's a good idea.
can anybody speak Celestial in our group?
Yeah,
Okay.
No.
the tiefling.
Okay.
I can speak Celestial as well.
Okay. Do we wanna? Is it okay if we buy the thing that makes us sing?
I mean, if that's what you want, get it.
We just need
Get it, Brad.
128 gold
B-Rad,
for that.
to be honest, I think how you like live on the roofs, if anything, or sleep in air quotes on roofs, the best thing for you would be the feather fall. But
You know, I think you could get better at singing if you just practice every night too. And Tito, I'm sure, is
Yeah,
a
I could
great
help.
teacher.
Yeah, but you know, we tried to learn Giant, and we tried like twice, and then somehow we just learned like 3 words, and then we sometimes our teacher's just not good.
Matt,
Yeah,
can I
I was gonna
insight
say it's
check?
probably your teacher.
Can I insight check B-Rad to see if the real reason he wants it is for singing or how it made him feel?
Sure. B-Rad, roll whatever you like.
Oh boy. Whatever I want. Okay, what is
Yeah.
the? Oh, Jesus.
I mean, he can't see into your soul by looking at you. So
Okay. Well,
depending on what he rolls.
I'm basically seeing if when you're saying all of this, like the reason for singing, if it's because you're hiding something.
okay. Well, I rolled an 11.
Right now with all this.
Well, I rolled a natural 20 for a 28.
Oh yeah, maybe with the maybe.
All right. So what can he tell about your desire for this item?
Yeah, baby, what's up?
It's definitely for the feels. It's definitely because it made me feel something, and it was nice to be able to sing really well.
I think we should get it. And worst case scenario, a machine does a duet with a gnome. That'll get crazy money. I think it's a
That's
good
true.
idea.
It's an investment in your future.
In my future.
No, Brad's.
Yeah, I'll if Zaffre will make some gold for me, I'll get you the fifth half of it.
I can pretty much afford all of the gold for his transformation. So if we want to do, I can do that.
For your transformation. What?
The gold that you take to
Oh
the
yeah,
new
yeah,
gold.
I got you, yeah. All right.
You know, the goal to turn me into a real boy.
Reason? Raison, where are you?
Oh yes.
Raison.
What is it?
Sorry, your name.
I was
sounds
just
like a bunch
counting all of this money you handed me at different times. It
So what, right? Well, the
seems to
platinum
be the
stuff.
right amount of money, but it took a while.
So we're going to get the necklace too. I
Okay.
know you have to do all the math again with the discounts. Pain in the ass. I know.
Well, I'll give you the same discount. It's 128 gold.
Okay. So I put 80.
And I'll
Okay.
just
82. Sorry. 82. That's how much I have.
and I got the rest.
45 and 5 silver for you, Michael.
Cool.
I hope you enjoy your purchases. If you're back in town at any time, we will have new things. I hope you come back. Bring your money. Maybe conglomerate it first.
So do you buy things?
Occasionally, yes.
Interested in dragon parts?
What kind of dragon parts?
You know, scales, teeth, thorax. I don't know.
Maybe not the thorax. I'm not sure if dragons
It's
have
okay. They
thorax.
don't really have thorax. They don't.
Maybe
Those are
claws,
like
maybe
bugs.
teeth, maybe scales. I could potentially buy those.
Cool. We might potentially bring them back.
I'd be more interested
Depends
in
if we live.
the horde, though.
Yeah, I know, but we'll probably keep that stuff. Are you kidding me? I mean, I'll
Might
probably
be
keep the
a-
claws and the scales too to make shit out of, but maybe it's a poison dragon. We'll get you some of its poison.
Well,
and
I
you can
just hope
test
that such good customers would not be added to it.
Not to be what?
You're not
Addicted to what? Hey Matt, we can't hear you.
I was muted because I was talking to Mary about something.
Did you say addicted?
Yes. No, I didn't. Is that all the purchases you guys wanted to make?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. What are you
I
guys
was
doing
just
next?
trying to brag that we were going to fight a dragon. So, I guess it's time to. Oh, we can go check on core, see how the horses are doing. Now, well, now that we've made this, we're gonna make extra money. Since we're doing the extra money, did anyone need to go to the apothecary or the magic place or the weapon place non-RP to get anything
I
conversion
think
wise?
Kalora is going to the weapon place non-RP.
Okay. Kalora. So if anyone needed a weapon or apothecary, we can do that if you want to use more gold that
Or
you're
if you
going
were
to trade.
dipping your current weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a scimitar.
I turned to Atior. Do you have 100 gold pieces you can lend me until Zaffre can make some more tonight?
I suppose so. Can I just give you platinum?
Yeah, that works too. That's perfect.
Takes out 10 platinum and hands it to you.
I go to the I can't say that word.
Apothecary.
Apothecary.
And I go get the fire resistance bomb.
Okay.
Lex is very excited the whole time she's buying it, by the way.
Lovely, dear. That's great.
Didn't we figure out that
Enjoy.
we could make that really easily?
Kind of, but this was like a definitive solution that Lex saw in front of her. She wasn't going
Well,
to
they knew how to make it, but they didn't know where to get the ingredients easily. Okay. Anybody else buying anything? Shopping? Okay. So you're going to check on core?
Sorry. We would stop by the like the general goods store and get feed for the horses and apples.
Okay, sure. Let me. How much feed do you want?
What was the ride? 3 days?
I think it was more than that.
Wait, didn't you just say that you were going to magically make it?
Oh yeah, we just did decide
Okay.
that. We're just getting apples then.
Apples
We'll
will
get
say
7 apples.
for a pound of apples is 5 copper.
Okay, I'll just buy a gold worth of apples.
Okay. Awesome.
Awesome.
All right,
So as you guys
walk back.
It's
into
20
Lower
pounds of
City,
apples. Okay.
As you guys walk into the lower city, where presumably your horses have already been brought down to at least the mid-level, and Core is ferrying them across to the second crane to get them all the way down to the docks. We're going to go ahead and take a break. So let's be back here at 8:30. Okay, so you guys begin making your way towards the middle city, eventually running into Core, who is corralling an amount of horses through the wide central street and then trying to move them towards the crane on the other side of the city, or the other side of this district, rather. He kind of waves when you guys come up. One down.
Which one?
No, I mean we one crane, we did it, and then we have to do the other one.
Yeah, like which one is? All the horses are ready to go to the second crane.
They're all right here.
Oh yeah.
So how long do you think it's going to take for them to get all on the ship?
If you could help me get them to the crane, we can probably get them down in like 15 minutes, and then you guys can start loading them up, and I will meet you down there.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, so you
All
guys
right.
corral the horses and lead them to the second crane, where a similar conversation is held to the first one, explaining who you are and what you're there to do. The horses begin being loaded down as you guys make your way down to the lower city, with Course remaining at the top to
speak to them as they go.
Speak to them as they go down. Being at the bottom of the crane as the horses are loaded up is kind of an interesting perspective, as they are raised up and then moved across out over the drop. You recognize that they have tied some cloth around the horse's eyes so they can't see, maybe to stop them from being as frightened. And
Oliver, what you doing?
It's definitely, they definitely give off an aura of fear as they come down, but some handle it better than others. Everybody that owns a horse, roll a d20 for me.
Reed, do you want to do it?
Yeah, sure, I can roll it.
Okay.
Okay. What are we doing?
Everybody that owns a horse, just roll a d20.
Is this one of the horses we purchased, or is it for
I
like
rolled for us.
horse handling check? Because I don't.
No,
own a
one of the
horse.
horses you purchased. So one, if you split a horse, just one of you roll, basically.
Okay.
This is
I
for
rolled
your
for Tito
horse,
and I.
not for you.
I got a 9, Matt.
Okay.
I got a 14.
Okay.
Oh wait, but no, it's just a d20.
I thought it was animal handling.
No, d20. 14.
Okay. Zaffre?
13.
13. Lex, did you roll?
That's Zaffre's horse. I just rode with him.
Oh, right. Core rolls a 2. Is that all? Is there's 4
Ben
horses?
got a 17.
Brad rolled 17.
Okay, 5 horses.
All right, Pearly.
Okay, so
Yeah, Hezrian, you've got a horse. Have you not rejoined?
doesn't he have to leave?
I'll roll for
yeah.
Hezrian.
Hey, kid.
He did get off. He's eating his
He
dinner.
got an 11.
11. Okay. So only Kilora and Narfrin's horse rolled below a 10. Yes.
And core.
And Core's horse, but he can talk to his horse. So it's very clear. What's your horse's name, Kilora and Narfrin?
Baron.
Hmm?
Baron.
Baron?
Beren.
Baron. Okay. As Baron is lifted up after everybody else's horses are lowered to the ground already and loaded back up. You guys have them in your possession. Baron, you can see, is having a rough time with it. As he's lifted up, the blindfold falls off of his head, and as he looks around, you see one wide eye, and you can see the whites of it as they roll back in his head.
Matt, react. I'm reacting.
He is panicking. What are you reacting to? How are you reacting?
Sorry, I've got to get to the spell. Make sure I'm in range. How far away is it?
It's probably about 75 feet up.
Ooh, 75. I don't know if I can.
He's getting closer to you as he's lowered,
on an animal.
but
it's freaking out.
Would calm emotions work on an animal?
You can certainly try.
Certainly
Okay,
try
would
it.
it be animal handling? What?
Well,
So
what's
it's
the
just,
spell description?
Range 60 feet, so I'd have to wait for it to get in 60 feet.
Okay.
And it's a 20-foot radius or sphere.
Okay. And it just
But
calms.
No, it's a strong group of people, or a group of people. It's strong
I'm
emotions of
gonna
a group of people.
take out my Wand of the Woodlands and cast Speak with Animals on myself.
Okay.
And I am going to say, Baron, it's okay. Everything is going to be all right. We're going to get you on the horse and then, or on the boat, and then you're going to get lots and lots of apples.
Timer.
Okay?
Okay.
Can you be
As
a good boy for me?
he continues lowering, you don't hear a response from him, just panicked sounds, but go ahead and make an animal handling check. The crane begins to sway with his erratic movements. Hear creaking coming from the
15.
wood. As Kalora begins speaking in horse to him, you hear a series of whinnies and purrs, I guess. What sounds do horses make? Come from her.
Nay.
Nay. The panic on that's evident in the horse begins to recede a bit. He's still terrified, but his erratic movements have ceased, and he slowly again reaches the ground. As they get the leather straps off of him, he kind of rears up a bit and then quickly trots over to Kalora and puts his head down right in front of her.
It's okay, buddy. And I give him lots of pets and scratches, and I take the brush out of his saddlebag and I start to brush his mane. I'll get you apples, okay?
Perfect. So
You did so
congratulations.
good.
You have your horses down at the docks.
Yay.
And on the apples note, I'd just give some to Kalora to give to her because I bought 20 pounds of fucking apples. So all the horses
All right.
get an apple.
The horses are very pleased with their apples. You guys bring them over to the dock. The Seafire is still there waiting, sitting probably about 3 feet above the water, almost on a level with the dock, a little bit higher. Hatch open.
Is there one of the crew members outside?
No, nobody's outside at the moment.
Should we just yell for Tate?
Are we on the boat? I'm confused.
No,
We're on
you're
the
at the docks next to the boat.
Gotcha. Okay. Tate!
We gotta figure out how to get these in there. Tate!
A minute goes by and he clambers out. Oh, you're ready. Give me a minute. And he climbs back down, closes the hatch.
I was really hoping we didn't have to put the horses through the hatch. Whew.
A hissing sound comes from the ship as it kind of backs away from the dock. And then the same hissing noise emanates from the sea fire again as its steam generator is re-engaged. The metal oars begin to push the ship back towards the dock again, nose first. When the ship arrives around 5 feet from the dock, you hear a strange sound, a dull thump, followed by the sound of moving water as though a huge jug was being upended. Shortly thereafter, the back of the sea fire begins to dip in the water, raising the bow into the air, looking for all the world as if the ship was sinking rapidly. The front of the hull, now out of the water, is made of metal, covered sparsely with barnacles. Seeing it out of the water, it is once again staggering how much of this ship is concealed below the surface. As the bottom of the ship comes up to a level just above that of the dock, the movement stops. You then watch as the ship opens, almost like a massive shark opening its jaws, revealing the interior of the ship, with Tate and Stockley waiting inside the floor as it angles downwards away from them into the ocean.
That is so cool.
When the jaw of the ship is fully opened, it forms a ramp, one side resting on the dock just in front of you. Right, says Tate. Load him up and let's get on the way. Motions for you guys to walk the horses across the new ramp into the belly of the ship. You guys
So we do it.
Walk your horses through into what is another large storage area. The front is got several crates, barrels of unmarked liquids, and a few bits of supplies you'd have on the ship. Different things, a lot of different things. Rope, for instance. There's also a half wall that kind of bisects this room, and behind that you can see what appears to be the steering area of the ship, the navigation area. So as you guys
I'm paying attention that closely.
Cool. As you guys walk your horses on, there's a post that goes along the left-hand side of the ship that you tie them to and kind of comfort them as you step further into the ship. Also in this storage area is a large table that would fit the whole crew plus you. So if everybody wanted to get together at once, you could all be there together. The half wall divides the storage area and the navigational area. The navigational area is a leather chair with 2 levers either side of it, both of them currently in kind of a mid position, not back, not forward. As you guys walk past it, you can also see 2 blue crystals that match the ones on the outside of the ship. Does everybody remember that?
Mm-hmm.
There are 2 blue crystals on the outside that look like eyes on the front of the ship. They match that, and looking at them as you kind of walk past, you can see that they're currently displaying an image of the sky and the upper masts of some of the fishing ships in the dock. You imagine that they show an image of whatever those blue eyes on the outside of the ship would see as a method for, steering the ship. Behind that, you also see, well, those are connected to the bowels of the ship via copper tubing, those 2 crystals. You also see 2 massive bellows that are also connected with copper piping into the ship. They have 2 levers on them as well that are currently disengaged. You'd pull them down to engage them. Let's see if there's anything else in here you guys would notice. No. There's a chest to the left of the storage area and 2 seats that would serve as, people keeping company of whoever's steering the ship, both made of leather. Not quite as nice as the, so to speak, captain's chair, but nice chairs. And then there's the door leading back, and to the right of the navigational area, there is that's behind and to the right of the navigational area, there is a room that's completely walled off with a door that's closed in it. Tate leads you through back into the storage area that has served as your sleeping quarters. Kind of turns to the group and says, do we need to wait till midnight? Is there anything else you guys wanted to do?
I'm ready.
Fantastic.
I'm ready.
Stockley, get us underway. Stockley kind of throws a hushed salute, steps back outside and walks to the navigational area. Shortly thereafter, you guys feel a lurch as both levers are pulled backwards and the ship begins pulling backwards out of the dock. The oars moving silently, other than the faint hiss of steam as the Seafire gets underway.
Woo!
I was gonna restring my loot first thing when we get like settled on the boat.
Okay, sure. After you guys are moving for about 10 minutes, Tate walks up to you, Zaffre. Did you get the alchemist fire?
Yeah, I got the stuff. It was all of your gold. Was that the right amount?
That was the right amount. Right. Come with me. Somebody better know how to work it, and I can imagine someone who looks like a dragon might enjoy spitting fire onto his enemies.
my dad used to breathe fire, so.
All right, come on. He walks you to the area where those two massive bellows were. You can see now behind them there is a massive brass tub behind them with a cap on it made of metal that he twists and turns until it screws off. Pour him in there. I'll go over the basics of the controls with you.
Okay, I'll pour it in.
Okay, so you start pouring the flasks in. So these two bellows are connected to the steam engine on the ship. They've got constant power as long as the ship is running. They're powered by air, so these two levers here, when you pull them, they allow the air to come through these tubes into the bellows and start pumping the alchemical fire out of this jug and through. You saw those two boxes on the outside of the ship, yeah? Through those. Yeah. The pilot lights within those light the stream of liquid as it comes out, and we blast whatever's in front of us with sticky, fiery mess. Hopefully we won't have to use it, right? But somebody better know how to use it other than my crew in case we have to do things like repair the ship.
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. You might want to teach someone else how to use it though too, because first off, like I know a lot of stuff, but I'm not really good at doing everything. So like this might not be my thing, but also I can control water. So if we were in a fight and water was coming into the boat somewhere, I could probably hold that off, and that might be more valuable to keep.
Who would you recommend? You know your friends better than I do. Brad, I imagine, is going to be up front fighting, right?
Yeah, I mean, you want more brains in this. I would probably go, I think Logan would be really good. She used to be a researcher, I think. So she could probably learn how to do it really quick.
He just walks away from you and goes out the door again.
Logan, you're unmuted. You're unmuted, by the way. She's taking the dog out.
Hello.
Come here. He turns
What can I
around
help you with?
again. Do you follow him? Because he doesn't tell you.
Yeah, I follow him. Yeah.
And he walks you to the alchemist fire propulsion mechanism and explains it to you as well. Basically, that you can pull the right lever to launch a jet of fire from the right box, and the left lever to launch a jet of fire from the left box. Cool.
Okay.
So hopefully we won't have to use it. Like I said to Zaffre, and hopefully one of my crew will be manning it. But if we're busy repairing the ship or repelling borders, it's going to be one of the two of you that's going to have to activate that.
All right. Noted.
You're muted, Zaffre, if you're talking.
Yeah, so at least now, even if Logan can't do it, I can, or vice versa. So
or if one of you's dead, regardless.
Right.
Hopefully not.
Can I ask you a question real quick, Tate?
Sure.
You don't target other boats, right?
What a question.
I mean,
Depends
we're
on the
going with you either
situation.
way. I just want to know if...
Do you mean for this journey, in the past, or in the future?
I mean, in the past, I am going, like, you're not a dwarf, so I know you've done it in the past, right?
No, I got this ship by completely legitimate means.
And I'm sure that is true. Can I tell if that's true, by the way, with my ridiculous passive insight? 18?
I think you did.
Not with your passive.
Okay.
Did we roll on this last campaign? He said this exact same line.
Where are you going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I checked.
It's fine. That's not even the point. But yeah, I don't really care about the past. The future, that is up to you. I really wanted to know for this trip, but also, is there anyone that if they see your boat, they will go after it?
I mean, every man has
We all have
enemies,
enemies.
right? You guys have enemies. You go to fight a dragon. That's a pretty bad enemy. I'd rather be facing a ship than a
Yeah, I
dragon.
know. I'm just saying, like, you think any enemies maybe that it's likely that we'll come into contact with?
Likely? No. Possible? Sure. I can't predict the future most of the time.
Can I insight check that?
Sure.
I know he can't actually predict the future, but if he does have more info. 23.
He could certainly give you more information, but it doesn't seem like he's giving you anything other than a version of the truth.
He doesn't think anything is urgent.
Right.
Cool. Okay. All right. That's all I really wanted to know.
All right. Can you get your men together up here real quick, and I'll give them a rundown of...
I don't think we have any men.
They're people. It's a generic term for...
Oh yeah, my group. I'm sorry.
Guys,
we just
friends, people, men.
Except for Logan.
Get them together. We need to talk about route. Your elf wanted to take a detour, for instance. We need to talk about route, and I need to explain what life's going to be like on the ship. So can you get them here? Thank you.
They, like,
Turns
wondering
around on his heel and walks over to the navigation area.
I'll go get everybody together.
Okay. So you all gather in the forward compartment of the ship. Aluharad and Atu are included. Once everyone's there, Tate, who is just staring out of those two big crystals at the moment, once again turns around. You're all here. Fantastic. Thank you for coming. And welcome to the luxury liner, the Seafire. So, first of all, in terms of how things run on this ship, I'm the boss. Stockley, who you all met, Tricky, he's also the boss, but he's not my boss. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, yes,
He's
yes,
going to
Captain.
just keep looking.
Yes.
Everybody say yes.
Lex, just say yes, okay? You're not in charge. Say yes.
Yeah, I gotcha.
He then shifts his attention from Lex to Tito and then Logan. Taps his foot 3 times.
Guys, you have to say yes.
Guys, you have to say yes.
What? Yes.
Fantastic. Be ready, you'll find. After that, I really don't give a fuck what you do with your time here. You're paying me. B-Rad, how much are you guys going to be paying me? Yeah, but how much was it? I thought it was like 250, and then your Dragonborn says it's 150.
It was 250. I was wrong. I told you I'm pretty dumb. That's why you didn't want me to do the fire thing, right?
Well, thank you for being honest with your lack of intellect. Right. Elf. Nofrin. That was his name. You wanted to go to the rock monument to the north.
The Varenstone. The shrine to Varenstone.
Yes, sir.
The Minotaur Rock. Is that where we're going? I ask the collected assembly.
Do you know, Tate, how much people usually give as tribute?
He leans over to Stockley, who's currently steering. Do you know how much people normally would give to the?
You do too.
Oh, it's just normally so that everyone on the ship gives a bit, and right. Usually, everyone on the ship gets off. They dock on the rock, and they give what they can. Whatever that means.
That seems reasonable.
And if you're not supposed to, I know this is right? You're not supposed to steal from the island. People have gotten in trouble. Not in trouble, but people have gotten missing.
Maybe Lex shouldn't step on this island.
None of your crew would take.
I kicked Tito.
Tito flies across the room because he's 1 foot tall.
What'd you ask?
None of your men would take anything from the island, right?
Not if I tell them not to.
Could you tell them that?
It's your pleasure, Cruz. Sure.
Zaffre.
Like, I will tell them not to steal anything.
You really want to go to this island, right?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to go to the island. Just so there's no
I wanted to go
bad spiritual, stuff going on.
Okay.
I think it's a good idea as well, just to be sure.
This is going to add about 2 days to a ride.
I thought it was on the way.
It's
gonna
a
add
bit
2 days.
north. We could cut directly east to get directly to Stale, right? Or we can go north and then south. Or north and then east, rather. I guess it would only add... Tricky. If we cut north and then go directly east from the Varenstone Rock, it'll add about a day. If you want to go directly east of Portside, that'll be 2 days.
Don't you guys have like a map that tells you exactly where to go?
I mean, we know the way.
First.
That's not the issue.
Oh, is it because of like currents and
Yeah,
stuff like that?
I think it's an extra day. And the elves that were on the other boat said it was very important. I think it is worth
I think we should do it.
I think it's what we should do, personally.
Okay.
You heard him, Tricky. Adjust the course. Anyone who's paying attention to the navigational console as Tricky is steering will recognize that. Actually, go ahead and make an intelligence check, whoever is looking.
Just straight intelligence?
Straight intelligence.
It's a +1 if you have a mod of
Am I
5.
tall enough to be looking?
Yeah.
You don't.
Nah, I rolled a 9 total.
Hold on, I'm doing mine. Ooh, no.
Okay.
15.
15?
I rolled a 9.
Okay.
Are there any
Anybody
more?
else?
Can I have more, please?
No.
Okay. Tito, you are the only one who now understands the basics of how this ship is steered. Essentially, the right lever controls the oars on the right. The left lever controls the oars on the left. So if both are full front, all of the oars are moving with full power, pushing the ship forward. If one is full front and the other is full back, the oars on the left would be rowing backwards, the oars on the right would be going forward, thus turning the ship. There are a million different, combinations of that,
but it seems that the center point is null, meaning no movement. Back is rowing backwards, and forward is rowing forwards. They both move independently, very similar to if you've ever played a video game with tanks in it, 2 tank controls. That's how tanks work. One.
I never checked out World of Tanks yet. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Me neither. But Tito, you now understand that. Everybody else, like you can tell this is steering it, but you can't really connect it.
So if you move it back, like left one all the way back and right one all the way forward, it'll make like a sharp left turn. But if you keep like the left one at null, you'll make like a wider left turn.
Exactly.
So like, what's the difference between going? I'm asking as Tito, by the way. What's
you're asking this to the group?
Yes.
Okay.
And so what's the difference between going just straight there using that map? Why do you have to go up and like left or?
Have you not been paying attention like the last 2 days? It's what? The sailors use it as tradition. If you go to the Varen Stone, you leave an offering to ensure your safe passage.
Yeah, no, I know why. Oh, we're heading straight there
So
and then
we are going to point
left.
A.
Right. We're making a stop somewhere off our course.
Okay, I thought you meant to get to that island, you had to go up and left. I was like, why can't we just go straight there?
No. Okay, so you guys have not expressed a particular landing point in Stale because I don't think you have one, right?
Nah.
So if it doesn't matter where you land.
Well, wait.
Atior or Aluharad have anything in mind for where we should go?
Well, we're looking for the mountain or whatever the mountain it is, right?
Yes, we're looking for Bordval, the mountain, I believe is what it was. That's in the northeast of Stale. So really just getting there is good. We don't want to land in any of the cities because we don't really want to be, I don't think, found out by the king there.
Yep.
Why do we not want to be found by the king?
He's not a good man. He serves a very dark god, and might not be.
What god?
I would suppose it's in the name, isn't it? Do you know the king's name?
No.
You do know the king's name.
Oh.
Especially you, Narfrin.
I don't remember.
Were they battling with the elves or something like that?
No, this is a different kingdom. Narfrin, what is the dark thing from your past called?
Which dark thing? Message me.
The big one.
I don't remember.
The entity.
Fenrir.
Yes, King Fenrir. That's his name.
King Fenrir.
It's the name and the god he serves.
Yeah, never heard of that.
He might not take kindly to having powerful people from Stale, or from Sheador, who he's been at war with for years, on his land.
Oh,
He's already brutal enough to his own citizens. I can only imagine what he would do to us.
You think he was the one riding the dragon?
I highly doubt that. There's no evidence that he has the control of a dragon or any magic powers to speak of. Just political power and the might of his militaries.
You say he abuses his people?
So to speak, yes. Right, so middle of the wilderness is fine with everybody then. Yep.
Yep.
Right,
As
so
close to the north side
as
as
northeast
possible.
as you can get us, right?
So we can go
within the constraints of our agreement, I would say our best course would be to go north to the Verenstone Rock or whatever, and then east and maybe a bit north from there to south of the main city in Stale. Yeah. Works for me. All right. Well, that's all the questions I had for you. Go about your business. He turns back around and resumes looking out of the crystals.
I just kind of go up to the deck of the ship and watch the ocean.
Up to the top of the ship?
Yeah.
Okay. Kalora, please make a perception check for me.
Okay.
I would like to go up there as well eventually.
Okay. I mean, do you want to follow her or do you want to go later?
I could. I was gonna do something, so.
That's fine. You make a perception check as well then if you're going
What time of the day is this that we're leaving, I guess?
You guys got out pretty early. I would say it's probably only like 4 o'clock.
Oh, yeah. I would definitely go up top then.
Okay.
24.
17.
17, 24. Clerebold, you can make one too.
Not yet, but I can. Can everybody who is going to give me gold let me know
I gave you 50.
how much it was?
Can I give you 50?
50.
If anyone else wanted to, I do.
I'll give you 50 as well, Michael.
I'll give 52 right now.
Who did I put money forward for, just to make sure I can put that back in my inventory?
I'll give you 10 gold also.
Never mind. 2 gold.
10.
Okay,
But I'm
so
completely out now. It's everything I got.
you give me 100 gold. Sorry,
How much can you make
100. I'm doing what Matt did earlier. I have 100 from Lex.
50 from Mary.
50 from me.
So 300 with
Logan will do 100.
Laura, B-Rad, and Narfarin. Logan will give 100, so that's 500. I don't think so. We only needed. How much did we need to pay him? 250. So, what are people expecting to get? What are people expecting to get back from that? All of it? Because we've got to pay.
I mean, I can go ahead, if you want to go ahead and just take my 25 out. That works.
I'm paying at your.
Okay.
So we still need to figure out who needs.
Sorry, I'm just
people to put
I'm
in for them.
confused. Like, it's going to be $500.
How about
250 is
everybody
going
gets
to-
back what they put in, and then after we do that, we'll split the 250 to
I
pay.
think that's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys all hand your money over to Zaffre. Clerebold, what was your perception check?
That doesn't let me do anything for
3.
myself.
3. Oh wait, is this the gold that we're not paying for something? It's just you're turning it into useful gold.
Yeah.
Never mind. I don't need that. I was mistaken on what you were asking for.
Zaffre, if you need to make some for yourself, you can take some out of my 100.
Just so you're aware, we're going to have a fast forward day tomorrow as well,
Yeah,
so
okay.
you guys are going to have time. 3 was your perception check, Clerebold?
Yep.
Okay. Looking out over the ocean from this kind of interesting vantage point, being pretty low to the water on this very sleek, at least to the upper part, ship. Kalora and Clerebold, you guys look around and you notice after a while that there are dolphins trailing in your wake. They eventually come up to the front of the boat and kind of play in the eddies created by the bow as it cuts through the water. It's kind of a beautiful sight. Narfarin, you of course noticed this as well, but after looking and enjoying the sight for a bit, your focus shifts outwards while the other two stays in. The first thing you notice is quite far away from the ship. elves can see a long way, and in all likelihood, a human wouldn't be able to see this distance, at least this detail at this distance, and you don't get a lot of it. You see something, it almost looks like a shadow of a cloud being passed in front of the sun. You look up and it's a perfectly cloudless day. There's something massive under the water, moving quicker than your boat in the same direction. You notice that, and yeah, maybe it's something bad, but maybe it's just a whale or something. Your eyes focus upwards and look at the horizon for a moment. Make a second perception check for me.
Do you
I
point it out
cast
to us?
guidance right now or no? We're just making the second perception check.
Just a second perception check. This is to basically get something that there's no way you could have gotten without a high number.
I rolled a 2, so it's an 8.
Looking out to the horizon, it's nothing. Just the sea to the north. Berensstone Sound as it moves upwards. Looking back down, you can no longer see the large shape moving under the water.
It rolled off of a 20, guys. I'm pissed.
That would have been very interesting.
Yeah, I'm pissed. Cool.
These dolphins are freaking sweet, right?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking at some point
But
I
is
was
it
going to
is it
turn
really a
into
good
one.
thing to see the crowd?
They are quite beautiful.
Yeah, man, they look like they're having a good time, just hanging out. I think it's a good luck, right? Dolphins are like friendly, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Usually.
Yeah, yeah. I'm excited. This should
Or
be
turn into a dolphin?
I was going to. I was going to maybe see if you guys would tie me to the ship and I would just make sure I don't get separated, but be a dolphin.
I feel like that would probably kill you if you fell behind.
Are you up there, Zaffre?
No, I'm making gold. Shit, my bad.
Huh. I feel like I just heard Zaffre talking.
I was just sending a message to Kalora because I was thinking about dolphins.
You can turn into a dolphin? That's real?
Yeah, I can turn into a dolphin.
Anybody else know that Prince song
I
called
mean-
Dolphin? No? Okay.
I mean, I
I
have
can
rope.
turn
Do you
you
want
into a dolphin, Clerebold. Do you want to be a dolphin?
Yeah, that would be awesome. I mean, you want to go take a dip?
I mean, I guess maybe we should ask Tate if it's okay.
He said we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, but like, maybe two people jumping off the side of his ship is maybe not in those parameters, you know?
Do you think he's got like a underwater docking bay on this thing?
I don't know. Just give me 1 second. I just want to be nice to him. Let me go check.
Okay, Kalora, you go down, and Tate is in the navigational chamber again, just looking out at the two crystals. You can see dolphins actually in front of them now. Damn it, I can't see the ocean in front of me. Get out of the way, dolphins.
Hey, Tate, I was actually going to turn into a dolphin, and I wanted to make sure if it was okay if I jumped off the side of your boat to do it.
I don't give a fuck. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll tell them to get out of the way.
All right, thanks. Just stay out of the way of the crystals.
Would you be scared if I turned into a giant octopus, actually?
No.
Okay.
Enjoy. Kalora, you go back
Go
up.
back up to the deck of the ship. All right, we've got.
So
the
what did he
go-ahead.
say? Go on.
It's okay.
Do it.
So, I mean, really, Clerebold, I could turn you into just about anything that you would want that's a sea creature, so you don't have to be a dolphin.
I mean, Are you gonna be a
I was
dolphin?
thinking I might be a giant octopus.
So if you turn me into a dolphin, can I talk with those dolphins?
I mean, I think so.
Really?
I don't know. I've never tried. I mean, as with this spell, I've tried as me being a dolphin, but not with this spell. I
What's this
basically am
spell?
going to polymorph you.
Polymorph? Just polymorph?
You lose all your intelligence stats. They become the
Yeah,
same
but
as the.
dolphins are pretty intelligent.
Yeah, true.
I think technically, like the dolphin would have to have like the language, like the elk has like languages, but I don't know if you're going by like raw.
Let's see. No, it doesn't. The polymorph doesn't give you animal language, unfortunately.
It's polymorph concentration?
Yes.
Oh.
Did you hear Pearl's name and you got up?
Okay. Well, yeah, I can't really think of anything else right now.
Okay. Should I be a dolphin with you or should I be a giant octopus?
I mean, it sounds like you want to be an octopus. I think you should do what you want.
I just think that'd be really cool. I'd have so many arms.
Give it a try.
Reed. Our friend. Are you gonna change into something too?
I think I'll watch from up here because I can't do swimming creatures yet.
Oh,
Oh.
that sucks. Hey, fuck! I've been watching too much Critical Role. Hey, Earth Mother. You should really let him do some swimming creatures because it's super fun. Okay, thanks. All right, you ready, Jamie?
I'm ready.
He's ready.
All right, you're
There
doing
he
such a
is.
good job.
I know. Okay, I cast Polymorph on Clerebold.
Wait. Do I need to like
Too late. You're already a porpoise.
am I dolphin
Flopping on the deck of the
around on the deck of the ship?
Yep.
I'll pick him up and try and put him over the.
No, I'm
the
just
thing.
I'm just kidding. She can.
Okay.
I was about to finish my last incantation. What's up?
Should I jump and then you finish, or should I leave my armor up here? Or
Well, when I polymorph you, it just kind of like absorbs into your new body.
okay.
So you'll be
Take
fine.
my armor off and leave my sword on the deck. And then just let me know and I'll jump.
Kind of armor do you wear?
Chainmail?
Okay, so you take the 10 minutes it takes to remove that before?
No.
He docks it.
I'll leave my sword on the deck. I'll just throw that to the ground and my shield.
Okay.
Leave it on. It won't get rusty.
Yeah, and I'll go up to the side and I'm just ready to jump in when you give me the signal.
Okay. Wait, should we get ropes to tie us to the boat? What if we get separated?
No. What's the point of being a dolphin if I'm tied to a boat?
Okay, here we go. Ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1. You're a dolphin.
Clerebold leaps into the air as Kalora finishes her incantation and in the air transforms, his body shifting simultaneously with the magic of her spell into that of a dolphin, which glides effortlessly, almost as though instinctually, into the water in a perfect dive.
I get up on the side of the ship and stand up on the rail, and then I jump, and while I jump, I'm going to cannonball as a giant octopus.
Fantastic. You do so, your body shifting and elongating into the form of a giant octopus, which then wraps all of its tentacles up as close as it can and creates a large splash, splashing Narfarin and soaking him to the bone in the process.
As they're doing that and I'm watching them, I just want to say a quick prayer to the Earth Mother, asking for safe passage on the way to Stale.
Okay. If you want it just be a generic prayer, that's fine. If you want to text me the contents of the prayer, that is also fine.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and just say that. We only have like 10 minutes left, so.
When I'm swimming, I just want to take a look at what type of fish might be around me.
Okay, make a perception check.
I want to do a front flip, a back flip, a barrel roll, and a figure eight. And then I kind of want to look around, see how deep everything is, and see if I can go to the very bottom and see if anything's down there, and then come all the way back up to the top.
Okay. I believe last time we were dolphins, tricks were performance checks. So go ahead and make 4 for performance checks and give me the numbers.
Sweet.
19 for my perception.
19 for your perception. Looking around, this seems to be quite the little ecosystem. There is a bed of coral at the bottom that is host to a large amount of sea life. You can spot clownfish, and there are actually some barracuda that are weaving their way through, just 3 or 4 of them. There are some nurse sharks that are down there. In the distance with a 19, you can actually see a whale of some description. It's kind of hard to see through the water, but it's definitely a large shape and that of a whale swimming through the ocean. And then just a bunch of small fish as well, minnows and the like.
So I will say that
never mind.
before I know that my hour will be up on the concentration for Clerebold's polymorph, I'll like make sure I stay close to him, and then at like the 50-minute mark, I'll go ahead and slap him with my tentacles and suction him to me.
Okay, just as a get out of the water kind of strategy.
Well, I'll literally suction him, and then I'll use my giant octopus arm to lift him up as a dolphin up on the boat, and then I'll drop the polymorph.
Okay.
So just when it gets to that, once an hour is up, or like I said, about 50 minutes.
I was just gonna say you might want to do Dex for the dolphins because charisma for dolphins is a 7.
Oh yeah, that is right. I don't know why we made that. Did we make them acrobatics checks last time? I think it might have been, actually. Do 4 acrobatics checks as a dolphin, so your modifier is plus. I assume they'd be proficient
Unless you
with
make them
dolphin
proficient.
tricks, right? Just go ahead and do +4.
+4. Okay, so I'm just going to add 2 to my totals because it used Clearbolds.
That's fine.
So that's going to be a 10, 19, 13, 8.
Yeah, all perfectly passable except for the figure 8, which looks more like a figure of 2 circles.
Close enough.
Front flip is really cool, though.
Sweet.
You then swim down to the bottom, which it looks like it's probably only around 40 feet deep at this point, the ship being around 20 feet under the water. So it's, you know, there's a fair amount of space between the seabed and the coral that lives there, and the smaller fish.
Is there anything down there like, because like we're kind of in the bay, right? So is there any like ships, treasure, anything I could like pick up while I'm down there that I could look? I'm just kind of looking around for.
Just in the general area where you come down?
Yeah, maybe.
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Yeah. So it's the dolphins' investigation, right?
Yes, which its
so I'll
intelligence is -2.
-2.
Oof. Well, I rolled a 15, so 13 on investigation.
13. Okay. Why not? You managed to find under the water a skeleton with what looks to be a chain and anchor tied around one of its legs. On its ring is a finger, or on its finger is a ring. On its ring is a finger. On its finger is a ring.
Sweet.
Cool.
Can I just like rip the hand off? I guess.
Absolutely.
Skeleton, and I'll just have that in my mouth, and I'll be floating around.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys enjoy your time. One of you with human remains in your mouth for the next little bit until you, as your 6 intelligence dolphin, having been distracted by the fun things you've been doing, maybe forgot a little bit that your friend was a giant octopus in the area.
Oh, God.
And all of a sudden, your vision is filled with tentacles coming out and beginning to envelop you. Kalora, go ahead and make an attack roll as a giant octopus, your tentacle attack, and go ahead and make Clerebold a dexterity saving throw as a dolphin.
Ooh. I don't think it'll hit. It's a 9.
I'm basing it off of his dex check, not his armor. So
my dex roll was well, it rolled twice. The first one was a 3. The second one was a natural 20.
Okay,
So I'm assuming we're taking the 3.
Take the 3, yep, and add 4. So
7.
You are enveloped by 2 tentacles that wrap around your dolphin body. You begin panicking, obviously. It's scary. This thing's going to eat you. You're certain of it.
Can I
Cool.
see that he's panicking? Like he's trying to
I
swim
would say,
away?
yeah, you would probably get that.
I will telepathically speak in his mind. It's a dolphin. It's okay. I'm just going to put you back on the ship.
Clerebold, with that, you remember, oh yeah, I'm a dolphin and a knight. Damn it. And you stop struggling. You safely bring Clerebold back to the deck in time, setting him down as a dolphin just in time for him to turn back into the handsome, bemustached knight, Clerebold. And then, I assume, turn back into a little halfling girl yourself?
No, I'm actually going to I assume since the ship is relatively low in the sea, one of them is about 30 feet from me.
Easily.
Either
They're like
Narfrin or
5 feet from you. The
Okay,
ship
cool.
is 3 feet above the water at its highest point.
I telepathically tell Narfrin that
I was
I'm
still on
gonna
the dock. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna stay as an octopus for a little while, probably for about another 3 hours or so. I'm just gonna suction myself to the bottom of this boat so I can kind of keep an eye on any creatures that might be in the sea while we're traveling. So just tell Tate that's gonna happen, because if he sees like a giant tentacle just kind of in front of one of his windows, he might get freaked out.
I will definitely let him know. That sounds very cool, and I'm jealous.
So I just literally flatten myself and I suction myself to the bottom of the boat, and then I try and camouflage myself because that's something that I can do, kind of to blend in with the metal tones of the boat.
Fantastic.
But I just keep an eye and scan to see what big creatures might be in the ocean.
Okay. Go ahead and make a general perception check for me for the time you're spending under the boat.
Okay.
I just wanted to be known, when I turn back into Clerebold, I spit out the hand.
Okay. The ring, as you spit it out and look at it, is a gold band, heavily filigreed, to the point where it's virtually a lattice work of gold forming a rough ring shape, and on the top is a single ruby.
Sweet.
24.
24. Okay, excellent.
Nice ring.
Thanks. I found it as a dolphin, so I thought I might just pick it up. Well, actually, it was connected to a body that had an anchor tied around it. So it's like somebody just killed this guy and left him at the bottom. I figured he didn't need the ring anymore.
That sounds pretty brutal.
Yeah,
I'm sure he doesn't need it anymore. He's fucking dead.
Right. You think it's magical?
I don't know. Ask Zaffre. He knows how to figure that out.
Oh, he can? Cool. I've probably seen him do that. I just can't remember, like a lot of things.
My character actually laughs at that.
Yeah. I'll throw the hand back in the water after I take the ring off, of course.
Do you actually throw it like facing it, or do you just throw it behind your head who fucking fuck that
I
thing?
go up to the edge and I just throw it back in the water.
Cool.
Sinks down into the water. I know it's 9:30, guys. Does everybody have a hard stop now?
Go with me.
Could we push it a bit?
I'm gonna play longer.
All right. Fantastic. That's what I like to hear.
Nobody else responded?
Good.
I got thumbs up from people.
Oh, okay. It just didn't show it on my screen because I can't do gallery view on my phone.
So, Zaffre, I know what you're doing. If it's okay with everyone, we can just do travel, but you can tell me what you want to do. Or if you have specific role-play moments, we can do that. But if not, we're going to travel.
I want Zaffre to tell me if this ring is magical.
Okay. Zaffre is very busy for the moment.
Oh, damn, that's right.
I'm just gonna be breaking in my new loot strings.
Okay.
Lex and Hezreen would probably be having 8. Well, I'd have 1 drink. I don't know how many drinks Hezreen would have, but I'd obviously ask Stockley if we could have some.
Rum
Is
will
this
be
just right now, or is this the whole trip?
This is just right
like the whole travel. Okay.
Basically for the rest of the night.
I would, whenever Zaffre has a stopping point. I can't remember if we did this already. Okay, no, okay. Just talk to him, and then if other than that, I would just be walking around the ship, looking at things, exploring.
I would also wonder where Kalora is, if that was not told.
I'm sure you would.
Logan would go find those books she saw the other day and go read them now.
Sure.
I'm going to go over to whether I see Zaffre or Clerebold first. And ask where Kalora is.
Probably
Oh,
clear.
she's
Well,
on
either
the-
of them.
She's on the bottom of the ship, actually. She's a octopus.
Of course she is. Okay. Well.
Yes, pretty cool.
Mm.
Did you need anything?
No, just didn't. You guys went up. 2 of you guys came down. So.
Check it out. I found this.
What?
Oh, I'm just like
We're
sitting
drinking.
up
Make some
there and,
concepts first.
and just watching. I'm
Have
not
one
gonna
drink.
go down below.
I didn't hear any of that.
I was just saying I'm not going down below anytime soon. I'm just gonna sit up there for like a long time until pretty late into the night.
Oh, then I probably would have.
Go ahead. Sorry.
They probably would have seen Clerebold first then.
Maybe.
It's fine.
Whatever. I would have gone up and just said, "Where's Kalora?" And then Zaffre tells me, and then I go back down. And then I also pay attention when I go back down to all the different things, just at different levels.
Absolutely.
After I finish doing all the gold, I'll identify the ring and talk to B-Rad, but I also wanted to completely take off my armor, oil and clean it, and just like polish it while I pray. I'll send you a prayer.
Okay. How many hours of the?
So, it ended up being 500. So 1 hour, 2 hour rest, 1 hour, 2 hour rest, 1. So 7 hours.
7 hours.
So like
Okay, so that's
midnight.
going to be quite late.
I'll
at
do the
night.
RPs. I can do the RPs like
During your rests, easily.
During the rests, yeah.
So after 2 hours of working with gold, we'll do the Clerebold thing first with the ring, which I will send you this week because that was truly a random event. So I'll make a ring if it's magical. I'm going to roll for if it's magical or not and what ability it might have. So B-Rad and Zaffre.
Are you busy? Could you look like
No,
you're
I
busy?
just made so much gold. I'm just relaxing.
Do you need to rest or something? What?
Gold? Did you give me gold to make into gold?
Yes.
Here it is.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Cool.
So you know that sword that I got? That's not as cool as that lady's sword, but it's still pretty cool.
A really cool pink one that kills things from horses.
Yeah.
I know.
So I'm probably not gonna use my horse too much when we go, swinging swords around.
Okay.
She told me it does better when someone's riding a horse, and you got a really cool looking horse. See.
Yeah, Damascus.
Yeah. Do you need a sword? Or a?
I mean, yes, I'll take it. It's
a falchion. Yeah. Yeah,
just
that's
sword.
a falchion.
It's a
A
great
great
falchion.
falchion. That's what it was.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen them before, but it's like a great sword, but it's a falchion.
Yeah.
I can teach you so much about them if you want. But do you want to have it? Do you want me to just like I can use it, but it's yours?
Yeah. I
or-
mean, I have swords, but I don't. She said it does better on
Okay,
her.
if you ever want to use it, just let me know because it goes really well with your slippers, and that's why you
I
got
know
it.
it's a really cool color. It looks really cool. I've never seen anything like it before.
I've never seen anything like pink. I've seen like blues, but nothing
Pretty
pink.
cool. But yeah, do you have any cool things that you can show me that you have?
Okay, so I was actually thinking of something that I could like maybe make for you that could be like
Where you can
modular.
make something.
Like it would attach to your arm. Like what if instead of a hand, right? You had a sword.
I think I can do that already, but I don't know. So there's like a button or something that I gotta press on me. But a lot of people that I know, they had like, they could just like,
Yeah, they're called pole arms.
yeah.
But I have to figure out how to make them because I don't know how to like, unscrew your
I
hand and
don't
stuff.
know where it goes either. It just like goes back in there, or like.
I mean, we are going to Stale. Maybe we can find
That's
somebody who knows
true.
that. I'm sure we'll see some Warforged. Shit, should we think about disguising you? Or maybe you'll just blend in.
I mean,
Do you know if Warforged are like 3 people there?
I have no idea. I know nothing. I'm kind of like Clerebold, where I just, some things I can't remember very well.
What if you're
Well,
an
there's a
advanced
difference in
version?
not remembering and not knowing.
Or no, I don't think I know. I don't know. I think he just can't remember. He knows. He just doesn't
he can't
know.
remember. I'm sure someone said something about it, so that means Lex will remember.
Yeah, she'll probably remember. She remembers
Someone
like
remembers if they're like
a lot.
enslaved.
I
That
can
was all
barely
of
hear
us,
you,
wasn't
dude.
it?
Sorry.
We have the
I can't hear Zaffre at all.
He
Can you
said
guys-
just hold. It's not urgent.
Yeah, he said he'd just look it up in his notes. So.
Gotcha.
Also, I mean, I'd probably be drinking more throughout the night with Hezrian. I'm assuming Hezrian probably drink, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I'm sure he's no, I won't say that. I'll let him do that the first time, the snake.
So yeah, Hezrian and I are probably just drinking, having a good time.
Fantastic.
Alright, anything else you need? Otherwise I gotta get back to making.
No, it's okay. I'll just go look at things. I heard Kalora was like a octopus or something, and she's like swimming around in the ocean. I kind of want to see that. I don't know.
How are you going to see it?
What do you mean?
Please do not jump in the water, dear. You're made of a rock.
I can't really swim. Remember that time we went to the ocean and you guys?
Yes, you just
Yeah, I
sank.
didn't.
Not even the time. You remember we found the little pool that was really deep?
Yeah.
Don't jump in the ocean.
I won't jump in the ocean because then we'd have to, send out a rescue party and all that stuff. And then we take time, and I'm pretty sure our new friend would not be very happy with me if I just jumped in the ocean.
I mean, if it's really deep, we might just leave you.
It's okay. I'll just walk on the bottom and then drown.
Okay,
and then
we'll see you there.
Okay. Bye-bye. And then I just go look in the ocean.
Okay.
And see if I find Kalora has an octopus.
Well, you don't because she's at the bottom of the sea. But go ahead and make a perception check when you get up there.
You'd see me.
As he's leaving,
You would see
I wanted
Norfrin.
to yell. As B-Rab was leaving, I would yell, you should get the goggles from...
Get the goggles from Hezrian. That's what he said.
To see if you can look out the windows.
To see if you can look out the windows.
I don't know. It's weird. Okay, perception. Excuse me. That is a 12.
12. Okay. Looking around, it's now probably around 6:30, 7 o'clock. It's pretty out. Sun's starting to set, and casting a red hue over the ocean.
you don't see much as far as weird things. There's some birds flying overhead, seagulls of some kind, and it's pretty.
Okay. And then I'm gonna go take Zaffre's advice and go ask Hezrian for the goggles that make me see at night.
Okay.
And then I go look out the window from underground.
The
Just keep
back window
going.
or the one in the captain's quarters?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a perception check for the back window.
Ooh, yikes. That's a 5.
5. It's still very dark. You do see, like, some rocks down at the ocean floor, 20 feet below.
Okay.
It's not that interesting.
Okay. The other
How
one.
many hours would you say it's been, Matt, since I've been?
2.
It's been 2 hours. Okay.
The front window is also a 5.
Fantastic. It's not the front; it's the right side of the boat, if you will.
Yeah, or
out of the captain's quarters.
The starboard.
That one seems to be completely covered by something with suckers on it.
Okay, well, in character, I'm gonna think in my head. I'm pretty sure that's Calora.
That's absolutely fine. You can make that distinction.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to Zaffre after I just after a few drinks with Hezrian. And I'm checking on my gold. 100.
Oh, are you done? Sorry.
Thanks. And then I'm gonna go find Atior.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give him this gold.
Yeah, he and Aluharad are kind of towards the front of the ship where the horses are held. They're at that big table with the whole group. Aluharad's messing around with some potion-making equipment, trying to set it up because he can't really deploy his tower here. And Atior is reading.
Atior, I got your gold here from earlier.
Oh, thank you.
No. Thank you. Trust me.
Sure thing. Glad it was useful. Packs it away.
Now we are even. Michael's asking if Atior let him hold on to the diamond.
Yes. Yeah, he wouldn't have had any use for it.
All right, and then I'll just go back to Hezrian and just chill.
Okay.
After my 4 hours about or so is up, I kind of suction cup climb my way up the back of the ship and then turn into Calora, and then I just go sit next to Narfarin and don't say anything, but just look out at the sea.
Okay, I did have one thing as a squid perception.
Oh, okay.
We'll say it's just before you're about to start suction climbing up the ship. You are looking out kind of to the right of the boat, down, which would be south at this point, southeast. And in the far distance, just towards the edge of what you're able to see through the general opacity of the ocean before it starts to actually block your view. Come here. Can you hear her whining? Jesus.
Yep.
You see something that doesn't make sense. You see a man, or the figure of a man, although it's just a dark shape, so it's just the outline, but it looks like a man is walking along the seafloor, as though he were walking down a street.
Aww.
You kind of try to peer closer, and as if paying attention to it made it notice you were looking, it disappears.
How close to me was it?
How far can an octopus see underwater?
It has, I think, dark
have
vision
blind
for
sight.
60. Yeah, I was gonna say
Okay.
I don't know if I have blind sight or dark vision, but I think it's 60
Can't
feet.
remember.
Let me go check. It is blind sight 60 feet. Yeah.
Well, I'll say because it's not, there was light, so it's not like you couldn't see. I'll say it was probably around 100 feet away, and you could just see the outline of it.
Okay. Okay, I would probably use my second wild shape actually to stay a octopus for a while, but I'll kind of climb up the side again and tell my friend that I saw a person under the ocean walking on the seafloor. I'm gonna keep an eye out.
I can't remember. I mean, I play the same character almost on Thursdays. Am I able to telepathically talk to you back?
Well,
You
my
can
telepathy
talk.
comes from halfling.
Yeah, I know. I can't remember if I can
Oh
talk to
yeah,
you back though.
yeah. I'm pretty sure we've kind of, because it doesn't specifically say, let me go read what it specifically says. I'm pretty sure what we've said in game is like it almost kind of works like a sending, like a message spell.
Have we?
The telepathy.
Because I thought he could just speak back and you would hear it, but I didn't think he could respond back in his mind.
Okay, hold on. Let me go look. Let me see this. Class features. Let's just say he can talk back like normal and I can understand it, because I would assume that would be the case, but.
Yeah.
I'll say, understood. Just be careful.
Okay.
So what are you doing, Kohler? You just going back down to keep an eye out again?
I am, yeah, going to kind of position myself towards the front, but not to where I would be blocking those crystals, so Tate can still see and whatnot.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna kind of keep an eye out in the direction of where it was and see if I happen to see it. And once again, I'm gonna go, camouflage.
Okay. Go ahead and make another perception check.
Total of 20.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, guys. Does anybody else have anything specific they want to do?
And are you walking up to the deck to find Kalora? Yes or no?
I did that already.
Were you gonna stop to talk to me?
No, I walked up there and tried to find her, and then I turned around, went to Hezrin, found some goggles, went to go look stuff, and then after that I went and played music with Tito. And that is where I am currently.
Fantastic.
Okay.
In
You're
that
playing
case,
music with me?
But if you would like to have a conversation with me while I was up there, you can certainly call my name, and I'm all yours.
I didn't know you'd come up there. That was my bad.
It's all good.
I'll just kind of like nudge you, be like, "Hey, that's a nice new sword you got there." Do
It is.
you think you're gonna use the smaller ones anymore?
I mean, we haven't really fought anything in like a week and a half. So probably when we fight something.
You're gonna use all three?
All three? Which three? What three?
The big sword and the small swords?
Well, the big sword, I'm letting Zaffre borrow because we had talked about it previously during
I
one of
see.
our escapades to the church religion thing. We had a conversation. And
That's cool.
yeah.
Cool.
But I do have. Do you need a sword of some sort, of a variety?
I'm good. I have regular swords. They're fine.
Okay.
Thanks, though.
You're welcome. I also have this new thing that makes me sing. I didn't know if you knew that. If you were there with us.
Serenade me a little bit.
Okay. What do you want me to sing?
Am I next to him?
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Nope. You're downstairs.
Do I have to sing that out loud?
No.
No.
You just say you sing it.
Okay, well, I have the necklace on, so it's going to sound great. Okay.
Brad sings Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And though
Zaffre
the
and cries.
rhymes are elementary and the melody is simple, the voice that comes out of Brad's mechanical mouth somehow imbues the words with an emotion that you haven't felt from the song since you were a child. It brings you back to times where your father would sing to you or some other authority figure that was older than you, and you kind of said it as a joke, but it almost means something by the end.
Thank you, B-Rad. Little wipe my eyes a little bit.
Said, am I that little star?
Then I just say anytime, and then I wink, and then I go downstairs and find Tito, or that whole thing that we talked about with the goggles, and then yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Great. All right. So the rest of the evening goes as you have willed it. Kalora, you don't see anything else in your next 4 hours as a octopus other than the natural occurrences of the underwater world. Tito, your strings are performing beautifully. Very nice, and your lute is restored. Logan, the book you're reading is a love story of a kind. Kind of has a rough triangle of interested parties that fall in love with both each other and the sea over the course of several journeys, interspersed with pirate fights and marine battles and krakens and things of that kind. It's drivel, but it's entertaining. Zaffre, the long time spent in prayer, is exhausting, but fulfilling, spending time with your God, even if it is doing something as menial as changing one gold coin into another. Narfer, and the time spent in solitude up on the top of the ship is interesting. It's not quite as restful as, say, resting in a forest clearing. The sense of motion of the ship is somewhat jarring to someone who spent most of his life on land. And it's actually easier to see the stars here. And looking up and looking at those fills you with a sense of wonder and peace. Clerebold, Alex, what the fuck were you guys doing? Oh, you were drinking with Hezrian.
I'm probably drinking.
You and Hezrian.
Playing with my ring.
Okay. You three are joined by Tate and brought to the captain's quarters, where you spend an evening drinking and telling small stories about nothing to one another to pass the time. Eventually, as all nights do, this one comes to a close, and you all make your individual way to sleep. Noting that several of the crew had been sleeping as you left and are now being awoken to man the controls and to keep a lookout while you will be resting. The night's dreams come to all of you uneasily. An oily feeling broaches the boundary of your conscious thought as a now familiar nightmare comes to each of you individually. An old man dressed in gray robes expounds on the various sins you have lived throughout your lives, sometimes speaking obliquely and to those of you that have more identifiable sins directly, breaking out the individual acts, sometimes the individual moments during those acts that you have done. And behind your eyes, you see the visions of these crimes. Some of you, it affects far more than others. I believe that I don't need to say who, but if you have doubt, feel free to ask. The only person in this group whose dreams, actually there are two of them, sorry, whose dreams are slightly different are Zaffre and Clerebold. Zaffre, yours is strange because as this old man begins to start speaking, you've heard this before, you've heard him talking, you've heard him mention these crimes, and you've asked to be told what you've done wrong. This time when he speaks, the words come out muffled. You can't hear them. They just sound like he's speaking through a fog of thick smoke. And all the words are kind of lost, though you can pick out the patterns of speech. Eventually, during your dream, the old man scatters to the wind, as he did on the night or on the day when you guys first met him. He scatters, and left in his place is your father's sword. Whole now, not just a hilt. Just as the day when you first used it. You feel all of a sudden your body coming into the dream, and you look down. You're no longer blue. You're no longer red either. Your scales have a solid, mirrored brass finish on them. As you move and feel your scales kind of move together as they always do, they feel the same. There's no chemical or physical difference to the way you feel. But you do recognize that in a dream, usually you don't have this kind of tactile sense. What would you like to do?
It's just like a blank.
Mute.
It's a completely blank space. Black, except for a circle of light that encompasses both you and the sword.
I want to try and just do a cantrip real quick.
Okay.
Just try and do light on my. Like, do I have my stuff with me?
No, you have. I'm sorry, I should have said that. You are wearing nothing but your underclothes, so just your underwear, basically.
Shit, I'll touch my underwear and cast light.
Your underwear become a beacon in the dark. They don't illuminate anything else, but it's clear that the spell has worked.
Okay.
You look, and as you think that thought, the sword doesn't move, but you felt like it was further away, and now it's at your feet.
Sit down. And try something new. I'll see if the spell does anything.
I'm gonna cast Spirit Shroud.
Spirit Shroud?
Yeah, it's you call forth spirits of the dead which flit around you for the spell's duration. They're good or bad by your choice, so you're going to be training them.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you for a second. What was it?
I'm calling forth good spirits of the dead, and they're just gonna flit around.
Okay.
So they're like radiant spirits.
Gotcha. You cast the
So
spell, and as
those
you finish the incantation, small pinpricks of radiant light begin to appear, and then expand, almost like a jellyfish would. That kind of natural movement into what appears to be just a string of very closely interspersed small radiant dots of light. They begin to gently swirl around you in a roughly circular pattern, some of them coming closer, some further away. They also, as they kind of come into their own, go around the sword, creating a small circle containing you, the sword, and nothing else.
to give you what Zaffre said. He doesn't want to touch it because he thinks he's going to wake up as soon as he does.
So I'm just gonna look at it.
So I'm just going to look at it for about.
I'm just gonna study the blade.
I'm just going to study the blade for a minute because I didn't. The first time I held it,
I didn't really get to
monitor the blade in fine detail.
So I'm just gonna study it.
And I'm just going to study it and enjoy being around it for the minute that the spirits last.
Okay.
And then I'm going to try and pick it up.
Okay. Studying the blade is a painful experience, more painful than you thought it would be, not only for its loss, not only because of the fact that it's gone, but because it was the last thing your dad made, and being able to look on it again is emotional. It's beautiful, but there's an aching in your heart that you feel because it could never be the same. Even if you were to put it back together, it wouldn't be by your dad's hand. It would be the blade with which you killed Druk, but it wouldn't be your father's blade. And as you reach down and touch it, pick it up and hold it, you don't, as you thought immediately, wake up. It's in your hand and it feels the same as it did that day, though your muscles are stronger and your powers have grown and your skills with a blade have certainly improved. It feels the same. It feels balanced and perfect. As these realizations go through your mind. And you look down and see the brass scales on your forearm reflecting pinpricks of light onto the blade itself. The pain in your heart increases. And then all of a sudden, it's not a pain caused by any emotion. It's a heat. There is a burning coal in your heart. You can almost, if you concentrate, feel it burning the flesh away and going deeper into your chest, sizzling as it goes. A brief moment of panic comes to your mind before the panic is stilled, as though a wet blanket was draped over the fire of your panic. And a voice comes to you and it says, "This is not where you belong, Zaffre Clerebold. In memory, in past, you and the group you travel with have important things to do in the present as well." You hear the beating of massive wings above you. Look up and see nothing but the darkness. You feel the burning dissipate and spread out to your body and get out to your scales again. And they briefly warm before the heat dissipates off of them. And as the last of the heat leaves the last of the scales on your finger, you awaken. Clerebold, your dream is also different than the gathered assembly of your friends. It is the same old man. He is talking about someone's crimes. You sure as hell don't remember them. He repeats the ones he did on the road about you leaving your family and abandoning them, and him saying you could have saved them. And you know that there is some connection to your past life in those words, but it doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound like something you would do. So you have a hard time connecting the acts that he's describing with the person you believe yourself to be. As you're sitting there listening and trying to make sense of his words, you close your eyes for a moment and he falls silent. When you open your eyes back up, instead of the old man, standing before you is a woman wearing a powder blue dress and a sort of an apron, I guess, of white. She's a well-built woman. She's not too thin. She looks like she has had her share of work in her life. She has been doing things. She maybe has worked at a farm or milked cows. She's not a woman who has lived the high life, but she is beautiful, uniquely beautiful. She's got long auburn hair that comes down to about her midsection, a thin, pretty face with freckles on her nose, blue eyes. And you recognize her. At least you think you do. And she smiles. And you know that smile. Go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Fuck this game. I rolled a natural 1 for a 7 total.
Natural 1. Okay.
It's fucking classic.
You know the smile. You know it's in your head somewhere, and it is so frustrating not to be able to put the pieces together, not to be able to connect the synapses in your head, and a flash of anger, betrayed from your mind, appears on your face. Her eyes focus on you, on your face, and the smile brightens. She walks towards you. She stands probably a good 1.5 feet shorter than you. She gets up close with you, probably about 6 to 8 inches away, and begins raising her hand towards your face. Would you like to react?
I think I would put my hand on hers and just kind of hold her hand.
Okay. You grab her hand as she reaches up for your face. She smiles a crooked smile and takes her other hand and reaches up to cup your cheek. As her hand connects with your head, you hear her voice. Her lips don't move. The smile remains the same on her face. But you hear her voice. Remember. As she speaks the word, in your head more than in your ear, you feel something, and it's almost uncomfortable at first. It feels like there's a bead in your brain, just a small piece of it, that is suddenly too small. It needs to expand. And you don't know if your head has space for that bead to expand. It's confusing and worrying, and you don't really know what to make of it. She repeats the word, remember, and the bead pulses, and you feel a wave of nausea as a headache explodes in your head. You grit your teeth. She says the word a third time, and you fall to your knees. She looks down, still smiling. What would you like to do?
One second, I'm almost done with my notes. I'll look up at her. Say, help me, please.
Her smile turns almost pitying, though there's no less love in it for the emotion. And though she still smiles, you see a tear begin to form in her eye and fall down her cheek, leaving a pattern of wetness between her freckles. She speaks the word again. Remember. And the pain explodes behind your eyes, and a white cloud passes in front of your vision as her face blurs and mixes as tears come to your eyes. Remember. And all of a sudden, there is a name on your lips. You feel it. You know it. Elena. You haven't spoken it. What would you like to do?
I'll say it. Just Elena? Just as a question, using my inflection.
You say her name.
And I think I would reach out for her too, as I say that.
You now know that to be her name, and you say it. And reach out as the pain in your head is replaced with happiness, pleasure. You remembered Elena. How could you have forgotten she was your wife? You had known her your whole life since you were kids together. Your parents knew her parents, and I mean, you were virtually neighbors. You lived 2 miles apart, neighboring farms. High value farms, both of you still worked. You both had chores that you did together, and when you got old enough and she got old enough, you asked, and her parents knew you. They loved you, and there didn't have to be the family thing that sometimes happens where you have to change money for that to work. It just worked. It was like it was always meant to be. And you remember. Parts of your memory are still blocked, but that doesn't matter for the moment. You remember Elena, and you want to get back to her. She locks you in an embrace as you stand, and it is a moment you didn't know you had been waiting for, but it feels the same as if you were waiting for it for thousands of years. As you feel this rapturous release come over you, you close your eyes and open them 20 feet under the ocean, in between Eventide and Stale, on the deck of a dwarven trireme. And that is where we're going to pick up next week, everybody.